In case you are still living under the delusion that we're not at war, we are. We are at war for our very civilization. We are at war across the sea. We are at war in our home. There are traitors in our midst. We are electing terrorists to positions of power in different areas in the United States of America, and women are involved. That's right. That's how you know it's getting hairy. Definitely subscribe. Lock in, boys and girls. We are getting demonetized for this one, is what I would say if I had any of my videos monetized. My entire channel is demonetized, for those of you that are unaware. So if you could support me anywhere else, that would be awesome. On Patreon, where I upload 3 to 4 videos every single week, as well as live on Kick/Rumble. I am live streaming right now on Kick and Rumble, and my videos get uploaded to Rumble as well. So definitely lock in, boys and girls. We have a lot of idiots to talk about, but most importantly, cripple fight. We got the cripple fight of the century, everybody. We got the people on the right that are complete morons that think that Israel sent time travelers to kill Charlie Kirk versus the people on the right with brains. And we got the people on the left that are kind of gay and want gay stuff to happen everywhere versus the terrorists. We got cripple fights everywhere. It is a fantastic day to be watching Nuxanor. Lock in, boys and girls, and subscribe. Hope your butt is puckered, everybody, because Iran is facing the worst time of their life. They really thought that if they just let themselves get blown to smithereens, but continue bombing civilians on the Strait of Hormuz, the Donald would just be like, you know what? You could keep doing whatever you want. You could make your nukes. You could do your shit. I don't care. Not my business. Unfortunately for the Iranians, the Donald does not really seem to want to lose. All right, the U.S. has massive amounts of munitions, especially of certain types. Additionally, large amounts are being manufactured and shipped to the U.S. as needed. Defense companies are building the largest number of plants and factories in our country's history. The leakers of these treasonous statements are being hunted down. Tucker Carlson's little funny, funky laugh in the background. You'll never catch me. Long-term jail sentences will be sought, bro. Bro, I'll be honest here. You know what's even better than killing Ayatollahs in the Middle East? Jailing people that leak shit to the Ayatollahs here. That's right, baby. We are cleaning that swamp. Not fast enough, don't get me wrong, but I'm just happy with the Overton window shift. Every time I see someone say, you know, I really like Trump, but I really wish he would do a lot more. Yeah, me too. But think about the Overton window shift. We are going to obliterate all these guys. The Donald had this to say.
What makes you think this will be different? Because they tend to never...
It may be, it may not be. I think that the threat of this, this was more than a threat. We were ready to go. And, you know, in life, they know when you're ready to go and when you're just bluffing. No, we were ready to go. And we are ready to go. We have to do that.
We're ready to end their civilization, and they don't seem to want that. Now they're begging for a deal. And by the way, a lot of people say that Trump is saying they're begging for a deal. They're not really begging for a deal. The Iranian president is begging the military leaders to please stop bombing boats because he's desperately looking for a deal. The military leaders are literally death cult jihadis and want to die for their religion so that they can have sex with infinite children in heaven. All right? So the reality is, it's really, really funny right now, and I'm going to show you some of it. So before we even get into that, they got John Kennedy, who, by the way, is one of my favorite senators. Easily top 3 senators. This dude is absolutely awesome. All right? So this is what he had to say.
I'm always willing to give peace a chance. Respectfully, I would remind President Trump of 3 things. Number 1, the only reason that Iran is coming to the table, if indeed they are, is because Israel and the United States of America have torn them a new ashtray.
That's right,
Number
baby.
2,
yup.
No deal is just fine. Not preferred.
That's right, baby.
But not preferable.
Oh, God. I'm so happy you're saying this.
But it's fine. A bad deal isn't. Number 3, he has to remember that the Iranian government learned to lie before they learned to talk.
That's right, baby.
And they're more than mildly insane. Dealing with them is like dealing with Son of Sam or Charles Manson. Whatever he does, do not release the sanctions, stopping their sale of oil, or remove the blockade until we see Iran take firm actions to open the strait. That's my opinion.
Dude, he is so good. He's so based, it's crazy. Now, anyway, obviously he decided to drop some truth bombs over there, and the reality is, These are truth bombs. We are dealing with more than mildly insane goat enjoyers to the extreme. These people are terrorists. They've killed thousands of us. We don't need to sit here and make it sound like we need to make some sort of deal with these lying douche whistles. All right, they're evil. Now, he actually keeps going.
What should the U.S. response be if Iran is...
Because remember, the left in America is absolutely doing their best to make it seem like the United States is losing this war, and the poor Iranians that were just attacked. I literally just covered in my previous video how Tucker Carlson, who I consider virtually a leftist, or if not a leftist, then a right-wing enemy, that he is out here literally reposting Islamic State propaganda and saying, what we did to the Ayatollah in Iran, you know, the pedophile terrorist that literally killed millions of people in the region and thousands of Americans, what we did to him was like Pearl Harbor. That's like, no, was it? No, it wasn't at all. It actually wasn't at all like Pearl Harbor. What are we even talking about?
In fact, attacking America's drinking water supply.
Right, so there have been Iranian cyber attacks on American water area thingos.
Well, we've got cyber experts. Hit them back. Iran's done this before. I'm not saying it's not Iran, but it could be North Korea. We do it to each other all the time, and I'm sorry it happened. I'm glad we caught it. But if Iran's going to start this foolishness, I would hit them back. Just like we've done with the military strikes, I'd eat them up and spit the bones on the floor.
What should...
That's right, baby. You obliterate them. They want to fuck with you. You railroad their asses. You rape those bastards. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Metaphorical rape. So Marco Rubio, first of his name, he's also dealing on the foreign front, saying the Cuban communist regime is a state sponsor of terrorism that spies on America, arms violent left-wing radicals, spread poisonous Marxist ideology, and serves as a staging ground for Russia, China, and Iran, just 90 miles from our shores. Today, I sanctioned 5 Cuban entities and 8 individuals associated with the procuring arms for that regime. As President Trump has said, the United States will not tolerate a rogue state harboring hostile military intelligence or terror operations on our doorstep. That's right, baby. Crush them. Crush all of their agents too. Now, he also posted this. This is the American way.
Great nations are born of great people. They cannot survive long without them. Duty, sacrifice, service to a cause beyond oneself, belief in something larger and more important than the individual. These are the causes that impelled a group of extraordinary men to declare their independence to the world 250 years ago. The men who signed our Declaration of Independence understood that liberty meant something much more than being able to do whatever one wants. It was not the mere absence of limits. It was not liberation from man's duty to family, to nation, to God. They understood that order and virtue are the indispensable foundation of a free people, and that human virtue has to be cultivated by human institutions, like the family, the church, just and moral laws, and the habits and practices of self-government.
Dude, this guy.
This is the true American tradition of freedom passed down to us across the generations, stewarded and defended by men and women for 250 years. It has been the foundation of American greatness. Let us all pray that it will continue for the next 250 years as well.
That's right, baby. Happy Freedom Day, everybody. It involves us killing terrorists, and that's awesome, actually. Now, Pete Hegseth dropped this one. Trump won the Iran war. So here's the reality check the inconvenient truth doubters don't want to talk about. If Trump was losing this war, none of these initiatives would be happening. Instead, what is being witnessed is the increased American influence, increased partnerships, more momentum for the framework Trump envisions to bring long-term peace and stability to the region. These are not signs of defeat, but regional transformation on an unprecedented scale. The spin doctors can spin whatever damn well please, but the historians are going to write that Donald Trump is the most consequential force in reshaping the Middle East and modern memory. There is so much unbelievable amount of propaganda being shoveled down your throats. We're losing. We're losing. Well, we are winning, and not only are we winning a little, we are winning a lot.
I want to thank as well. He was here. I didn't know he was going to be.
Scott Bessent just revealed an actual checkmate where more than 50 to 70% of energy moves through the strait is now going through underground pipelines instead. We are making the Strait of Hormuz pointless. We are literally making the strait something of the past. We're not going to need it at some point. All right, and then what leverage are they going to have? You know, of course, we have to understand we are being infiltrated by enemies of our nation, and it's not even remotely up for debate. This is Hasan Piker, literally talking about how he supports Iran more than America.
Is there any other way that Americans should be concerned that Iran could attack the American homeland?
No, they have enough bases around us. Why we should go further than that?
He said, nah, you got plenty of cattle in the region. Don't worry. We got plenty to shoot at. Dude, it's so awesome. No, there is no situation where like both sides are bad. One side,
Yo, it's so awesome that Iran could kill our people. It's so awesome.
is always going to be worse than the other side. America is worse than Iran.
America is worse than Iran. Bro, like, again, you have to understand, there is no... Let me introduce Exhibit A, why birthright citizenship is gay. All right? Thank you for your attention to this matter. This is insane.
Much is 100% something I stand on. It's not even a comparison. America's the greatest terrorist on the planet. Also, you might have noticed something finally framed newspaper from 9/11, the morning of 9/12, the newspaper right there.
Yeah. Anyway, we don't have to, in my opinion, we don't have to deal with these people. This is obviously a communist. You should obviously be able to deport him. Legally. You could legally deport him. It has nothing to do with free speech or anything like that. Like, this is a literal traitor within our ranks, literally rooting for the enemy. At every single twist and turn. It is insane that we need to make believe that this is normal. Now, Hasan is asked to explain his ideal foreign policy for the USA.
Hypothetically, what do you believe would be the best foreign policy for a reformed America? Do what the USSR was doing.
Just be like
all
Russia.
Around the world.
Just be
do
like
what America
Russia.
was doing, but for the other side. Arm.
Again, he supports imperialism. He supports conquest. He supports terrorism. He supports all of this stuff. He just likes it when the commies do it.
Train revolutionary groups, do coup d'etats in the previous neoliberal governments that they have instituted, and literally fucking, you know, hypothetically, what do you believe would be the best?
Yeah, so anyway, he just openly states it. Now, inside of Iran, obviously, things are not going well. So, again, if what's happening in Iran is what they're calling winning, please, Lord, let me lose. All right? This is wild.
Fox News alert, our troops around the globe are staying sharp. Soldiers are training in the jungles of Bangladesh in the Tiger Lightning exercise. But the action's in the desert, where Iran is getting either a deal or a missile shower. Mideast negotiators tell Axios the deal could be approved soon. But inside the country, it's a knife fight. Warring factions. It's the diplomats against the military. And the gay Ayatollah doesn't have the juice to bring them together, like his daddy did.
The diplomats want peace, the military wants to die for Allah, and they cannot figure this out. Cripple fight! You think only in the United States we have cripple fights? The left versus the far left? No, no, no! The cripple fight we are witnessing in the Middle East is diabolical. We have the gutless diplomats at war with the terrorist jihadists, ladies and gentlemen. It is brutal.
No one's seen him in months. The diplomats say the economy's collapsed and they have to stop the bleeding immediately. And they're right. State media is reporting their oil companies' bank accounts were frozen over massive debt.
On the economic side, we have them by the throat, and they've got 150, 180% food inflation, not able to pay the troops. So I think shortly, maybe even today, tomorrow, we are going to see an agreement, 30, 60-day ceasefire, and strait will be open. Energy prices should come down.
Iran needs a deal, but the guys with the guns think they're being sold out. Their nuke program's being buried. All they have left is the strait. They have to save face. Prestige is everything in the Muslim world. So they're creating conditions to extend the war to make the Iranian population, who live in a police state, think they've fought us to a stalemate. So they're holding the Strait hostage, but they have a gun to their own head, too. You get it? The blockade has them bankrupt. They can't find an off-ramp. So what's happening now is this. The RGC controls the media, so when the diplomats try to cut a deal, they get hammered on the airwaves. Now, what they don't understand is it's already too late to control the Strait.
Triple fight!
The Strait is never going back to the way it was because the Iranians have used or tried to use it as a choke point. What we are going to see over the next 2 years, the Strait's going to become irrelevant.
That's right, baby.
Pipelines are the future. Oil giants are already fast-tracking them away
That's
from
right,
Hormuz.
baby.
The Gulf's about to enter retirement, and therefore, so is the enemy.
Quite literally. All right, they'll have absolutely nothing. They can't even threaten us with terrorism anymore. Can you imagine how sad it is? They're like, we'll do terrorism. It's like, oh yeah? Where? And it's like, oh. They can't even do terrorism, and that's their favorite thing. So this is like truly a sad situation. Now the Donald, all right, for other gigantic Donald Trump hits over the last couple days, this is one of the funniest things ever. So about a week or two ago, Donald Trump compared Caitlin Collins from CNN to Dylan Mulvaney.
I want to personally congratulate CNN's Caitlin Collins on receiving her award. It was all about me. It's a fake. She shouldn't get the award. It was a fake, but I didn't mind. I said, Caitlin, congratulations. But it was fake. There's no question about it. But she's a young, attractive woman. She never smiles. I said, Caitlin, do you have a smile? Smile. You have a nice position. You're at CNN Fake News.
True.
You should be a happy person. So smile, Caitlin. Just
Please,
smile.
smile. Give a smile.
We attack, and I thought Caitlin had really made it big with a major new sponsorship, but then I informed her that it wasn't her on the Bud Light can. It was Dylan Mulvaney.
One of the most diabolical roasts of all time. Now, the reason why this is so funny is because obviously everyone got offended, but they can't explain why, because they can't explain that actually, you called me a man. No. I called you someone that identifies as a woman. What do you mean? So, obviously this didn't go well. So the craziest thing ever is that, first of all, yes, Caitlin Collins actually kind of does look like Dylan Mulvaney. Like, I'm not going to lie. Why are you offended? I don't understand. Why are you offended? What about comparing you to Dylan Mulvaney offends you? Is Dylan Mulvaney not a beautiful woman just like you are? Interesting. Could you please explain the issue? Is it the strong chin? Is it the Adam's apple, perhaps? Is it the testicles? I don't know. Anyway, now, this is the craziest part, I think, of all time. The craziest update ever is that Caitlin Collins started dressing sluttier. That's right, everybody. She was so offended. So offended! So offended by this comparison, she started literally dressing sexier, all right? She got bullied, and she is out there posting pictures of her like, I totally don't look like that guy. I totally don't look like him. Please, you can't possibly say that. And she has been posting these images all the time, bro. Oh, my God. This is, for the record, what we call complete and utter Trump rape. It's over. Trump destroyed her. It's totally and utterly killed her. Brutal, truly brutal stuff. Now, Pete Hegseth says that we need to ensure a civilian control of the military and depoliticize the General Officer Corps. When it came out, the top American generals formed a secret back channel with CCP military intelligence that instructed them all sorts of things to take positive positions regarding China. We have had such a massive infiltration lately that it is incredible that we've managed to survive as long as we have. Now, lots of the media is trying to push a gigantic thing against the Donald and against trying to split him up with Pete Hegseth, saying that Donald Trump is really angry at Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth lied to Trump. So the Donald posted this one. The fake news, as usual, is spreading false and completely unfounded rumors. I'm extremely happy with the job that Pete Hegseth is doing. Everything has been extraordinary, including our attack in Venezuela, where the result was accomplished in less than 1 day, allowing us to bring one of those worst criminals anywhere in the world, Nicolas Maduro, he's gay, to justice. Likewise, Iran, where the country had not been or has been decimated for the purpose of not allowing it to ever have a nuclear weapon, is going very well. Pete is highly respected within the military. He has made tremendous improvements, including getting rid of Diaz by increasing recruitment to historic levels. There's a rumor was started by the Washington Compost. Got him. One of the worst media outlets in the business, despite our telling them the story is false. In actuality, I believe their fake reporting is treasonous. President Donald J. Trump. Now, it's really nice that he's calling it out for what it is. And I'm really happy that we have a president that's at war with the media. Now, for the record, the media, which, by the way, blasts Trump and Hegseth all the time. But let's just not forget, they have been celebrating Anthony Fauci, in my opinion, a criminal against humanity. By the way, for the record, I think this dude should get a Nuremberg trial, if you asked me, my opinion. Well, it seems like he was just held in contempt of Congress by Rand Paul's committee 8-5. It looks like he's going to prison.
Seeing no other motions, the question is on reporting of an original resolution regarding contempt of Congress. The clerk will call the roll.
Senator Johnson.
Yes.
Senator Lane.
And it was 8-5. So the reality is, as much as these people do their absolute best to try and make believe they're the good guys while they undermine American military whenever they can, while they undermine American power and American progress whenever they can, while they undermine our people to try to get them to turn on each other whenever they can, they hate our nation, but they will lose. And they are losing, and they know it, which is why they're in overdrive. The lies are insane. Just think about how insane it is that we have a media that is literally running defense for the Islamic regime in Iran. Not only did they kill 40,000 of their own people, not only did they kill 2 to 3 million people in the Middle East, they've killed thousands of Americans, and our media on the left is literally running defense for them constantly to try to make sure it seems like we're nowhere close to the deal, we're losing the war, we don't know what we're doing, you guys should keep bombing us, hopefully you'll kill some more of us so we could use the deaths of our soldiers to blame Trump for starting a war that we totally shouldn't have started, etc., yada yada. All of the Iranian propaganda that they are pushing out is essentially just accentuating the lies that our media literally feeds them. We are getting absolutely ass blasted by 80 IQ third worlders because our media has decided to write the entire battle strategy for their propaganda campaign. And we cannot fall for that shit. All right, don't let Caitlin Collins convince you what's right and what's wrong, okay? She literally prostituted herself out the moment she was compared to a beautiful woman like Dylan Mulvaney, all right? And she is the one telling you that Iran is winning the war. Yeah, all right, dude. Now, speaking of traitors leaking things to the enemy, Tucker Carlson has once again proven himself to be a valuable asset of anyone that hates America. So Tucker says MAGA was betrayed. You know how Donald Trump said that Iran couldn't have a nuclear weapon? He said that for like the last 40 years, and now he stopped Iran from having a nuclear weapon. Well, according to Tucker Carlson, that is a betrayal. Well, we all were betrayed. It's time for a new path forward. More tomorrow night. Oh boy, it's gonna get hairy. And this is a photo of all the losers. You might recognize them. This is Tucker Carlson. He looks like a lesbian in this image. I don't know why. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene. She recently lost her election. Now she is a prostitute on Cameo. This is Joe Kent, lost 2 elections. This is Thomas Massey, lost his primary. This is his second wife that he married like a month after his first wife died. Ultimately, it's a pretty good gaggle of bozos. It's the Bozo Alliance, the R-Word Avengers, the Goobers of Doom. They have gotten together. Get in, losers! We're going losing tonight, and they are fighting against the oligarchs. And in the background, you have Cenk Uygur, because Cenk Uygur is also somehow part of the squad now. Joe Kent, after this, went up to Cenk Uygur to Taka. You don't understand. This is literally how it's working. This is literally the new movement is like the R-Word Alliance. Cenk Uygur, Joe Kent, and Tucker Carlson are going to fight against everyone and call out flock cameras, but suspiciously not mention anything about Palantir. That's weird. Anyway, so Tucker Carlson ended up releasing his gigantic memo. That's right. People said he's going to start a new party. Everyone knew he wasn't going to start a new party because he would lose. All right. Most of his votes come from Pakistan. Bro is not winning. It's embarrassing. It really is. But you know what he is doing? He is destroying the right. That is the purpose of this. The purpose of this op is to shatter the right entirely so that the left could gain power once again and that Islamists can still flood our country. All right. Now, this is what he did. He released a 10-point plan on fixing the country. That's it. That's what he did. All right, everyone thought, oh my God, it's got to be big. He got the greatest minds in politics together. The greatest minds. And he's like, I will release my 10-point plan to save the country. It's like, oh boy, this is going to be good. Step 1, fair. Same rules should apply to everyone, whether you're poor or Jeffrey Epstein. Wow, that's okay. 2, sovereign. We can't be controlled by Israel. Okay. 3, productive. America should rebuild farming and stuff. Okay. 4, beautiful. America is ugly now, and we need to make it beautiful. 5, healthy. That's right. We have to ban drugs. Nice. 6, honest. We should get all the classified information. This is literally his thing. This is unreal. 6, 7, optimistic. The children should be able to see a brighter future. Okay, 8, wise. Schools should teach how the physical world works. They should stop teaching people about transgenders. 9, decent. The U.S. should apologize to Iran and pay them restitutions and reparations for all the people we've killed. And, of course, we have to stop calling it the Department of War. We have to call it the Department of Gay instead. 10, united. We have to come together. We have to come together and speak English. This is the gayest, this is the most third world 10-step plan I've ever seen in my entire life. Again, this appeals to Cenk Younger's audience, okay? Literally. This is like, every Cenk Younger fan is going to look at this and be like, holy shit, he's so real for this. Literally, this is the gayest thing I've ever seen. Now, here's the funny thing. Tucker Carlson preaches that debt is slavery. How can... All right, now that's pretty good, and he talks about how usury is a sin, and I agree with him. Obviously, usury is a sin. It's in the Bible. I think usury is evil. I'm totally with you on that one. Good stuff. Get ready, boy. Get ready, boys and girl. What you are about to witness is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Can a sovereign person be underwater in debt?
First of all, he chose to be in debt. He chose to take a loan, and now he chose to be destroyed and crushed by debt. It is his decision, so it has nothing to do with sovereignty, by the way. It's a sin for other reasons, but it has nothing to do with sovereignty.
Well, of course you can't. Because when you owe more than you can immediately repay, you're effectively...
You forgot that people have free will. I know that he's, like, doing his lesbian cosplay over here, but women did not need to take a gigantic student loan to get a degree in underwater butt sex, actually. Actually, that didn't need to happen.
Owned by the person to whom you owe the money. So debt is an attack on sovereignty.
Oh, what about if you borrow a big amount of money with no usury? Is that also slavery? So are all loans slavery? Are loans bad? Again, he's talking like, you probably hate that you have loans. I have a solution. No more loans. That's it. That's literally it.
And it's important to say that because no one ever does. And so you
because it's not true.
Kind of move around this society and hear people talk about their credit scores if it's a significant measure of something.
It is. Of course, credit scores is a significant measure of something. Now, again, I am against usury. I'm anti-usury. Okay? I want to make that very clear. That's 1. 2, why would I lend you money if you have a history of not paying back your loans? A bad credit score just means that you are not going to be able to pay back the loan. If you go to me and say, hey, can I borrow $1 million? And I see that you have a degree in bullshit, then no, I am not going to lend you $1 billion. Like, this is just basic. But he's talking to the third world audience. Right? Takia Katarlson over here is talking to the third worlders that'll be like, holy shit, I don't want to owe money to anybody.
Have a good credit score. What are you really saying? You have to be worthy of losing your sovereignty to a bank, to a moneylender?
You don't have to borrow money.
So debt is, of course, and this has been noted in previous societies, really since the beginning of time, a form of slavery.
Debt is not a form of slavery. I don't even know what we're doing here. It is not a form of slavery. Debt is bad, obviously. Usury is a sin, obviously. But, like, what are we doing?
You do not have control over your life when you owe money to people. Well, of course, it's unavoidable in America. Unless you're
It is avoidable. What do you mean?
very rich or
That's not true. First of all, obviously, if you're rich, you're not in debt. But not everyone needs to be in debt. That's not true.
extremely disciplined beyond what the average person can be expected to maintain, you're going to be in debt. It's hard to do anything without debt. But is that good? Why are we participating in this? Why are we accepting this as the natural order? It's the most unnatural thing ever devised. And it's bad. And that's why every major religion acknowledges that it's not just unhelpful, it's sinful.
This is also a lie. Loans are not sinful. Loans are, in fact, a commandment in the Bible. The Old Testament says to loan people things, however, not with usury. Usury is a sin. Loans are not a sin. This is insane. And he just blurs the lines to, like, get his little propaganda out.
So it might be a good starting place to say that a society organized around debt at the sovereign, at the national level.
He's a communist, by the way. Pay attention. Tucker Carlson is just a communist now.
But on the personal level, is not a healthy society because it enslaves people. And it's interesting that when you do say that, and if you're ever to use the U word, usury, which is lending money at interest, which is banned, has been banned in many countries throughout time because it is bad.
It is bad, agreed.
Even mentioning that puts you on some list, at least in the minds of the people you're talking to, as like a crazy person, if not a dangerous person.
Our friends at American Financing have a better way. They're helping homeowners use their hard-earned equity, and they're supporting Americans looking to fulfill the dream of owning a home with mortgage rates currently in the 5s.
What does that mean in the 5s? What does mortgage rate in the 5s mean? While he's sitting there and he's talking about how usury is a sin and we have to stop borrowing shit, he literally has an ad for mortgage rates in the 5s. The 5s are 5% interest on your mortgage. 5% interest on your mortgage. This is usury. He is sponsored by usury. Are you paying attention to what is happening? Bro is going to sit here, usury is a sin, slavery is bad. We need a free society. This video is sponsored by usury. Do you want to purchase a home with interest?
American Financing saves its customers an average of $800 a month. That's about 10 grand a year. It's not just a loan, it's a true financial reset.
Ah, right.
We recommend American Financing. They're called
only 5% on investment.
America's home loans for a reason. So get out of credit card debt. I mean, it is just crazy to borrow money. No judgment, but it doesn't make any sense to borrow money at that rate.
When you can do it at a different rate. Woo!
If you want out, call 800-685.
Anyway, you get the idea. This dude's a total sleazebag. Absolute sleazebag. This is him trying to enslave his audience into debt. That's what he's trying to do. Now, anyway, recently there was a really funny update in the greater, broader YouTube sphere, and that is Andrew Wilson was on Joe Rogan talking about Candace Owens' idiot conspiracy theories. Now, I want to make this very clear. All right, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I called out Candace Owens before it was cool. All right, and I got so much shit for it. Most of my videos have like 99% like to dislike ratio. 99% like, 1% dislike. My first Candace Owens call-out video was like 80-20. I got so much shit for that video, you have no idea. When I was saying she is a bad actor, she's evil. She said Stalin was Jewish and the Jews invented dinosaurs to trick the Goyim, trick the Christians into thinking the God is fake. And she did this whole thing about how Andrew Tate is actually just a super misunderstood guy who's never done anything wrong ever. And he was just literally getting manipulated by everybody. And like, she lies a lot for her political gain. I called it out in the beginning, and I got people saying, listen, Nux, at least she is a right-wing commentator and pushing people to the right. There's a verse in Deuteronomy, obliterate the evil from amongst your ranks. You must obliterate the evil among you. She was a black woman speaking, and everyone was listening and learning, and that was a big mistake, my guy. You have to stop, right? You obliterate evil within your ranks, and we would have never been in this position. We are in this position right now is because the world didn't want to obliterate her when she was actually just being a nefarious bitch.
Now you have
But anyway, at least finally people are now doing this.
progressives.
I do have to say, I'm super honored. I saw a tweet someone in my chat sent me a tweet that Andrew Wilson's a fan of the Nuxanor channel, baby. He says I'm funny, which is great because as long as he doesn't say I'm serious, then we know shit's bad. But I'm a fan as well, I have to say.
Who are funded by ActBlue, right? And I've proven this. We traced all their money. It's progressives funded by ActBlue who are pushing the same narrative.
That's right.
That like Candace Owens and others are pushing on the idea of Charlie Kirk's death and the conspiracy around that. So
why is the left, who by the way never believes in any conspiracy ever, why does the left pay people to push the Candace Owens conspiracy slop unless they know literally it's destroying the right?
Absolutely being paid to push this?
Well, their stated mission, this particular progressive group, their stated mission was to take down TPUSA. The organization's called Unfuck America. So take Ian Carroll, within 24 hours after Kirk's death, blames Israel. Within 24 hours, he says, Israel killed Kirk. That was his tweet, went mega viral. What the conspiracy is on that side is that Israel, along with Erica Kirk and TPUSA insiders, got together with elements of the U.S. government to murder Charlie Kirk because he was going to leave the, quote, pro-Israel cause. That's what the theory is.
Right.
And that he was either murdered, some of them say with a microphone exploding, some of them say with there was a second shooter. And
By the way, Andrew Wilson over here is making a big error. He's clearly trying to brush the whole Egyptian planes, Jewish time traveling conspiracy theory under the rug. Did you know that when Charlie Kirk was little, streetlights would flicker in the distance as he would walk by? He came to Candace Owens in a dream, goddammit, and you're just gonna write that off? You're just gonna say that that's not even evidence? Unbelievable. This is Andrew Wilson running cover for the feds by not including the Candace Owens dream plot point.
Robinson's and Patsy. It all depends on which theorist you're talking to, but they all work together in the same unison from a single camp, which is interesting. Well, they claim that
unless it's something else.
It's this, what is it, PETN explosive. This is the particular type that had to be used for the size of the microphone. But you have another problem. The mic's on the wrong side.
That's awkward.
Of where the wound is.
That's awkward.
The other is there's no burn marks. There's no smoke. There's nothing. There's nothing to confirm this theory at all. The U.S. Army has.
Now, for the record, I have witnessed radios. Look, man. When Israel detonated all those Hezbollah pagers and blew the balls off of a lot of Hezbollah terrorists, I've seen those videos. Maybe more than once, some would even say. It was diabolical. Now, the reality is, their balls were smoking after that shit went off. All right, it was a little boom. It didn't take out the entire arena. It was a little boom. It was around the size of a fist, let's say. It was very painful, very painful, I'm sure. But it was loud. It was big. It was smoky. It was fiery. That shit did not look like a bullet wound.
Studied 30-06 entry wounds in depth and produced many manuals on it, explaining how cavitation works with 30-06 and that the bullet doesn't always penetrate. And that's with full metal jacket rounds that are designed for maximum penetration, not 150 grain core locked coming out of an antique rifle, essentially. It could easily split up very quickly. And that's why they ended up pulling fragments out of Charlie.
The Israel thing, there was some text messages back and forth where Charlie was talking about getting out of the Israel business. And there was this position that he had where he did not want us to go to war with Iran.
All true.
And he had a lot of influence. And then there was also that Israel supposedly had offered him $150 million to be more pro-Israel.
That is the problem that we've run into. Is like, I've never been able to verify that was the case. And
so where does that claim?
He doesn't even believe the dreams. How are we gonna take this guy seriously when he doesn't even believe Candace Owens' dreams?
Name come from
this.
Well, we do know, by the way, that Charlie Kirk wrote up an entire PR strategy and gave it to Israel to fix Israel's PR. He was literally doing that within the month he was assassinated.
Claim basically comes from this camp without anything to substantiate it. They didn't take out Fuentes. They didn't take out Owens. They didn't take out Ian Carroll. They didn't take out any of these other huge personalities who were roadblocks to the way.
You think Israel took out the #1 Israel supporter in America?
I haven't actually seen a single piece of evidence that Israel was ever involved in this.
No, I haven't seen the evidence.
We offered Candace.
Well, that's awkward. Well, aside from the lack of evidence, this is pretty tight. It's good.
Owens offered her $300,000 to do a debate. I was like, we'll give you $300,000.
What is her position? What does she think happened?
No one knows.
She thinks that Israel worked in conjunction with TPUSA and Erica Kirk to murder Charlie.
Based on what?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. Nobody actually knows. She's never presented a single shred of evidence thus far that Israel ever worked
Legend
to
that
murder
he's doing
Kirk.
this.
That Erica Kirk certainly didn't. So Erica did. She went out publicly and she was like, enough. Like, enough. You're just causing more problems than good here as this investigation's going on. And then suddenly Erica's now part of the conspiracy. By the next day, she's trying to cover it up. She's part of the conspiracy too.
I just read the article. This is like it says a purported photo of
Jesus. That's crystal clear. That's clearer than whatever his name is, Tyler Robinson.
Yeah, anyway, so it's not looking good over there. So he goes on Joe Rogan and talks about this, and Candace Owens loses her freaking mind, and she responded.
I said, I have a counter offer. He says $300K. Let's make it $500K. Right?
So let's get this straight. She's just trying to find the truth, right? She's just out here doing her absolute best to find the truth. Okay? So she gets offered $300K to debate him, and she said, actually, $500K. Then she makes her weird little gorilla lip pose.
Right. I just have the hunch, this feeling, gut instinct that you're maybe being backed by Turning Point USA or their affiliates in this debate request. It's just, you don't strike me as someone that has $300K lying around for conversation. I mean,
all right. So her first point is, oh yeah, you're probably broke. You probably don't even have $300K, which is why I would only do it for $500K. Wow.
Not with that smoking habit in today's economy, right?
Oh, because he smokes.
And given the fact that Turning Point USA has raised $40 million in one night off of Charlie's blood, literally encasing his bloody microphone.
By the way, she made $40 million talking about Charlie Kirk assassination theories too.
Microphone at a fundraiser event so that his grieving widow could be captured by the camera standing next to it. I think $500K feels more appropriate. They want to invest in you. You're their guy. Tell them that's what it costs. What's $500K between old friends, right? Also, my second counter offer position point that I'd like you to meet is I'm 7 months pregnant. So if you fancy a debate face-to-face, you're going to have to travel to me. It's common decency. No time limit in the debate.
You know, they could do it online, but okay.
Don't worry. It will be live. We will bring up any documents or evidence that you mention as a part of this case. We have a team, so you can send links live. We are happy to pause and allow you to search for any evidence that you reference if the team can't find it for some reason. No tricks, as long as you want. Like I said, live, so anybody could see if we were trying to play
all right,
tricks.
baby.
As a 2A point here, you're not going to be chain smoking around me, tough guy, okay? So you're just
oh, yeah, you're not going to be chain smoking around me, tough guy. That's right. By the way, she wrote an entire book, said, make a man a sandwich about feminism. And then she, you're not going to be smoking around me, tough guy.
You're going to have to bring yourself and leave your cigs at home.
Yeah.
And
I'm
this
a strong
is actually,
woman.
I would say, the most important part for me. This is what has to happen. Third part here. Either Blake Neff or Andrew Colvett or Erica Kirk must publicly claim you first, meaning...
What the fuck is this? This is the most unbelievable request I've ever heard in my life. Right, so she's making believe she's trying to get to the truth. He's like, hey, I want to just, discuss your position. She's like, that'll cost you $500,000. Also, you're not allowed to smoke. Also, you have to come here personally. Also, it has to be within the next week. Also, you literally have to get publicly backed by Turning Point USA. You need Erica Kirk to say, I claim Andrew Wilson, this random guy.
They must say that they are sending you in to debate on their behalf regarding the Charlie Kirk case.
But he's not even on their behalf.
No worming away after the fact. They don't get to be, oh, we don't really know this guy, whatever. They're boosting you. You're at the headquarters teaching people how to debate. I got to tell you, from the outside, it kind of looks like Turning Point USA scraping the bottom of the barrel looking for influencers. And they've now arrived at people who are just amoral, who will lie about what people have said and intentionally misrepresent their positions.
Literally not a shred of evidence to any of the things she says. Anyway, so this is what she responds with. Rachel Wilson, the wife of Andrew Wilson, says she literally said no smoking. Okay, HR Karen. Okay, HR Karen. And then the response is like, but she's 7 months pregnant, lol. She's 7 months pregnant. That's why she's anti-smoking. Interestingly enough, she was literally pregnant while she did this interview with libtard Bill Maher, who was smoking.
A 2-year-old, a 1-year-old, and this one's due in November.
This one's due in November, she says. She was literally pregnant while she was doing the show with libtard Bill Maher while Bill Maher was smoking. And if that's the only time, get ready for this one. She was literally pregnant in this one also. I very much enjoy this group. I'm kind of surprised smoking around a pregnant woman, says the comments about smoking around a pregnant woman. Again, I'm just noticing the fact that historically, this has never been an issue. I'm just saying it's pretty weird. Now, Andrew Wilson says, I'm bringing my own camera guy. She says, I'm sorry. Why do you need your camera guy? You think I'm going to put it behind a paywall? Nick Fuentes responds with, hey guys, because she literally did an interview with Nick Fuentes and put it behind a paywall. She's literally done this before. All right. You're so paranoid. You're so paranoid. She literally did it before. And she's going to get destroyed. Now, Candace Owens, in case Andrew Wilson is watching this, just a piece of advice for you. You are dealing with an intellectual titan, the likes of which I don't think you've ever tangled with in the past. You're used to people like Joe Rogan. All right. Joe Rogan is a smart guy or whatever, but he's not a black woman, all right? When he speaks, you don't have to listen and you don't have to learn. But when Candace speaks, you do.
It really wakes you up to the monstrosity of the gods feared this monstrosity,
The
saw it as a
monstrosity.
demon. Facebook was a part of the monstrosity of lies, of censoring. I was just like, how can I take on this behemoth, this monstrosity? I feel so small, and of course,
like how Megamind pronounces Metro City, pronounces it Metrocity. That's right, baby. It's a monstrosity, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a monstrositous debate between two gigabrains. It's going to go very well, I think. It's going to be awesome. You are going up against someone, a wordsmith, the likes of which you will never be able to surpass. Now, I don't know what piece of evidence Andrew Wilson could possibly come up with that would beat her trump card, which is Charlie literally came to her in a dream, and you didn't dig up Charlie's corpse yet, but I saw it in a spirit. I saw it in spirit, all right? I don't know how he's going to come up with that one, all right? But if he manages to overcome that, I feel like he has a pretty good shot of success. Ultimately, they agreed. As time went on, they literally agreed. They agreed to terms. They agreed that they're actually going to do the debate. It is confirmed that they are going to do it. I'm still suspicious that it's just literally not going to happen because last second something's going to happen. She's not going to be able to. Oh man, I just got extra pregnant. Now I can't do the debate. Oopsie poopsie. Charlie came to me in a dream, said you are literally bad faith. What are you even going to do about something like that? All right, listen, I'm just being real. What are we even going to do about that? Now, Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are working together to destroy the right. And in my favorite example of this is Tucker Carlson is now finally releasing a conversation with Hunter Biden. This is what everyone's been waiting for, guys.
I haven't seen you in 11 years, though I've talked about you. Hunter Biden.
I love Candace.
I do too.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It doesn't stop! It doesn't stop. They all know it's a giant psyop to destroy the right. It's the first thing they say. I love Candace. I'm sure you do. What a monstrosity, man. Holy crap, bro. So this is just an example of Tucker Carlson uniting with oligarch sex trafficker pardoned by the president to fight the Epstein class. That's right, baby. I am really, really glad that finally we are going to be able to ally up with powerful allies that are not at all parts of the oligarch elite Epstein united area so that they could truly fight against Donald Trump, who's literally doing the thing he said he was going to do about Iran for the last 40 years. And that's crazy. Now, one of Tucker Carlson's friends, James Fishback, who is running for governor in Florida. Again, I've seen some clips of him. I liked some clips that I thought were just weird. I don't actually have really an opinion about him. But he just announced that Byron Donalds, the guy that he's running against, is under investigation for federal sex trafficking. That's a pretty big freaking deal. Holy shit. All right, so he has a 98% chance of winning and beating James Fishback, and Fishback decided to come up with a nuke and say that he's a federal sex trafficker, to which the Department of Justice literally said, falsely accusing someone of being under investigation is a dangerous form of weaponization. The claim is not true. Congressman Byron Donalds is not under investigation. That's like, oh. This entire goon squad is absolutely diabolical. It's going to all end up in flames, and I am calling it early, all right? Once again, I called out Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens before it was popular, and the reason why I did that is because I think they're evil. I think they're evil, they're malicious, and they're working with foreign influence. They are. You know, Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are both going to sniff the bread of supermarkets in Russia. Like, what are we even doing? What are we even doing? The reality is simple. We are getting betrayed, and we need to obliterate the evil from within our ranks. So the Bible says, obliterate the evil from within your ranks. Literally, it needs to happen. And if we would have shut this shit down when it was small, if we would have nipped it in the bud when Candace Owens was out there coming up with her wild conspiracy theories and her saying that space is fake and that the world is flat and that Islam is misunderstood and the Jews are tricking you into thinking that Muslims are raping women in England. And it's like, we have to nip this shit in the bud, or else it ends up a gigantic travesty. All right, God wins again. It turns out you should actually obliterate the evil from within your ranks and not just let it fester forever. Who knew? If you don't nip it in the bud, it becomes a monstrosity. Do you want control over your own funds and put your money where it belongs in your own hands? Well, this video is sponsored by Rumble Wallet. We hear a lot about crypto, but here's a tiny part most people miss. Crypto was created so that you could actually own and control your money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers, or limiting access, you're in control. And if you've ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you felt that problem. Now fast forward to today. Everyone's heard of crypto, but getting started just feels complicated, and that's exactly why I use Rumble Wallet. It takes all that complexity and makes it simple. Choose what you want: Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setup. It collects with MoonPay, so you could just use your credit card, debit card, or bank and be set up and running in minutes. Once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble streamers like me directly. It's the best way to support me out of any possible way ever. Literally, I'm fully demonetized on YouTube. The support means a lot, and if you get Rumble Wallet, you can just tip me super easily in a way that I basically get all the funds. So do this right now. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. In just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some. I've been in the Jew tunnels for 3,000 years looking for a way to actually make money, save money, and deal with money without middlemen like Rumble Wallet. And finally, we have found Nirvana, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your support, and back to the chaos. Now, the enemy within is not only an enemy within our party, but there's also an enemy within our country that we need to be talking about, and that is the Democroids. The evolution of the Democroids has been insane. We've gone all the way from the KKK to modern day, which is just straight up Islamist terrorism. Hope you're happy. Hope woke. Are you tired of woke 1? Well, welcome to woke 2, ladies and gentlemen. And then it's just terrorism. Well, the cripple fight that is currently going on in the United States is absolutely diabolical. So Abdul, whose full name is Abdul Rahman Mohammed El Sayed, just won the Democratic primary in Michigan. We have to talk about it because this guy is a bastion of content, and the cripple fight is only getting better. In one corner, you got the center left. These guys, they're gay, they're queer, but they are very unhappy. And on the other side, you got the radical left. The gays brought them in, and they're terrorists. Who will win the cripple fight? Who will contain the soul of the Democratic Party? Will it be the gays, the harbinger of woke 1, or will it be the terrorists, the harbingers of woke 2? Well, the Donald had this to say about Abdul.
Every time this has happened, and you do that, you go through squalor, and add the word again: filth, crime, death, destruction, embarrassment.
True.
You lose your home.
It was a monstrosity.
You lose your apartment. And that's where the communists will take us 100%. When
True.
I watch Abdul, he's full of shit.
Patriot, patriot, patriot. That's my guy. Look at him. Look at him. Now listen, I am a progressive guy, and on YouTube I would never state that Muslims are all Trojan horses and dangerous in our country. I would never say that, but someone in my chat did, so I am just reading what the guy in chat said so that I could waggle my finger at you and say, tisk tisk, how dare you say such a bigoted statement? More on Patreon. I'm doing full analyses of the Quran on Patreon, by the way. Every week we're doing another Quran analysis on Patreon. Anyway, anywho, so Ron DeSantis states, yikes, a Democrat U.S. Senate candidate is literally being celebrated by the Muslim Brotherhood. Now, the Muslim Brotherhood is a terrorist organization who literally stated they have a 100-year plan to conquer the Western world. Their plan is simple. They import infinite people into the West that has tolerance and morals, and they'll be like welcoming and stuff, and they won't shoot children or something. And they all come in, and they have 1 million babies. They churn out babies. They're baby machines. They are just out there, all those plups. That was a baby, and they're creating a small army of babies to babyficate the country and overcome us. Basically, that's the plan. So that ultimately was the goal. That's what the Muslim Brotherhood said. So the Muslim Brotherhood is celebrating Abdul Rahman Mohammed Al Sayed for winning. These babies are future wives. 3 years from when they're born, for all you know, they will be a kind, doting wife. Now, the twist of all twists, Tucker Carlson endorsed Abdul Rahman Mohammed Al Sayed for Senate, praising him as lol, an anti-globalist. Now, I'm really glad that we're able to discuss this because I have said that Tucker Carlson is a traitor for a very long time, and everyone's like, no, he's just weird. He's just a little kooky. He loves Russia and Qatar. He's literally endorsing a communist Islamist. All right, brainwashed. Trump thinks that Abdul Sayed hates Jews. Oh, what a laughable statement. As we reported yesterday, smearing Americans who oppose the U.S.-Israeli alliance as Jew haters is one of the neocons' cheapest propaganda rituals. They do it to brainwash people into believing the lie that permanent Washington worshipping Benjamin Netanyahu and sending our citizens to die in the Middle East is deeply moral. Unfortunately, Donald Trump has fallen for this trick. No, Abdul El-Sayed hates Jews because when a literal Hezbollah terrorist blew up a car in a school, a Jewish preschool in Michigan, Abdul El-Sayed said, oh, hurt people. Could you really blame the Hezbollah terrorists? That's why you think he hates Jews, actually. Now, I'm really glad Asmongold is actually coming around to the Nux side of the force on this one entirely. You know, everyone's really saying, we're just criticizing Israel. He's an anti-globalist. It's like, man, I'm really glad we have people like Abdul Rahman, Mohammed El-Sayed fighting against foreign influence. It's like, man, I'm really fighting against AIPAC and foreign influence by getting Muslim Brotherhood endorsed candidate Abdul Rahman Abu Hamid El Sayed. W. Anyway, so Asmongold is on the next side of the force on this one.
I think that the problem is that one of the things that everybody in America knows about is World War II. And the moment that people start really digging into why is it that you support an organization that says that its stated goal is to kill every Jew on the planet?
That's Hamas and the Nazis, but Hamas more recently.
Really, and I don't really ever see this talked about. Like, this isn't really ever talked about. And I think the moment that people start talking about this, the tide is going to turn very, very quickly because people are, like, programmed. They're programmed to immediately have, like, a visceral negative reaction to something that sounds like the Holocaust. And I think
yeah, anyway, he's starting to realize that, yeah, no, it's actually not pretty good when you have guys that just literally support the eradication of all the Jews. Like what are we doing? Listen, man, I love the anti-Semitism Jew joke stuff as much as the next guy. But what are we doing, guys? What are we doing? Now, Abdul El-Sayed won 0 of the 15 counties with the lowest share of college degrees in the Michigan primary. 0. Now, the reason why this is interesting is because suspiciously enough, Qatar alone donated more money to universities in the last year than AIPAC donated to politicians in the last decade. All right, literally, the politicians are programming hubs, unironically churning out some of the biggest dipshits of all time. Now, Abdul Rahman Abdul El-Sayed actually went on Meet the Press, which is a leftoid stomping ground, and he goes up there, and they just ask him basic questions like, you want free healthcare, but like, free healthcare is how it's going to pay for the free healthcare. And he fumbles it.
Just to be very clear, you're describing this trade-off. You are effectively acknowledging that people making less than $1 million could see their taxes go up. I just want to be very clear. Is that a yes?
I'm saying that we'd be paying for healthcare in a different way.
That's right. All the employed people, you're going to be paying for the healthcare of the inbreds. That's how it works. I don't make the rules. Oh, wait, I do.
Instead of paying a health insurance company whose CEO makes $20 million, I would much rather pay for durable health care into a government, which, of course...
Instead of giving a healthcare CEO who is producing something or whatever, I would rather you give the money to the government to defraud you with. That's right. Because the government is known to never defraud the people.
We all know provides health care for seniors who need health care the most. So if I'm trading paying a CEO to make more money or paying government to guarantee me health care, I'm picking the latter every time.
Just to be very clear, you're just...
For the record, I think the healthcare CEOs are pieces of shit in general, but I would trust a healthcare CEO more than the government.
Describing this trade-off, you are effectively acknowledging that people making less than $1 million could see their taxes go up. I just want to be very clear. Is that a yes?
Yeah, and the answer is yes. He literally is like, hey, I'm coming into office, I'm going to raise taxes, and it's going to be awesome. Like, bro! Now, Democrats are losing their mind because it turns out that this guy sucks.
One more time here, and I'll show you what the autopsy is telling us in Michigan, how the major college towns in that state voted. You ready? Here it is now. He won by 53 in Ypsilanti, 36 in East Lansing, 36, 31, 30, 28. That's a clean sweep, all right? What did she do with major black towns across the state?
That's right, baby.
She won by 53 points.
The blacks do not like the Islamist invasion. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The black people are fighting back. Black power, guys. Let's freaking... Black lives do matter, actually. Actually, black lives do matter. That's right, baby.
It's 49 points. 40 points, 37, 35, 31. There's a clear distinction here, gentlemen, between these two voting groups, at least this past week in Michigan. Mark Penn, how do you dissect these numbers right now?
Well, I would not confuse how the black community...
Tell me one more time here.
Patriots! By the way, Patriots. It doesn't get any better than that. These guys, and it's awesome. You got to say, the blacks are saving our society little by little. Donald Trump literally just tweeted this while I was live. Black and brown voters don't want communism or socialism. Not surprisingly, they're flocking to the Republican Party. They remember Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. Oh my God. Donald Trump standing there, eyes wide. My African Americans, come, bubblers, come into my arms. That's right, baby. You have a home here. It's diabolical. Anyway, so this is Michigan State Senate candidate Abdul Rahman Mohammed El Sayed. This is what he said in 2018. This was literally forgotten for some reason because the Democrats refused to use anything that could be construed as racist. They don't want to do anything construed as racist against them. So this is pretty insane.
Listen, I was talking with Kamal Salim, who's endorsed me for my governorship. It's not racist. He was talking about it as a function of his religion. Well, it has nothing to do with religion. Just because he's got the keyword Muslim in it, that doesn't mean it's a Muslim organization. It means that
just because he's a Muslim, it doesn't mean he wants to literally destroy our civilization or anything.
They use that as a mask to go off and do things like he's doing right now, to go off and make it a victimhood. No, this is very serious stuff, guys. This is about civilization jihad. It needs to be up in the awareness. We should have an adult conversation, not simple name calling. I'm tired of name calling.
Thank you. Dr. El Sayed, you want to use 30 seconds? And Shri, okay? Shri, you can get your 30 seconds first.
All right. Now we hear what he has to say.
So I grew up in this state. And you can imagine going to school with a name like mine, you get a fair share of bullying. The fact is that I just don't pay attention to bullies. It's not worth it. But here's the thing. One of the biggest frustrations that I've had is that the assumption that there should be some sort of association between me and some dastardly group functions simply on the fact that I choose to pray a particular way. It is implicitude that is used to raise the scepter that has everything to do with context. Now, here's the thing. What frustrates me more is not that you have blatant racism on the part of certain people.
By the way, being Islamophobic is not racist. Islam is an ideology. It is not a race. Just want to make that clear.
What frustrates me more is, in the words of Martin Luther King, is that one of the most dangerous aspects is not when bad people speak out, it's when good people fail to speak out. And what I have not heard is the Republicans on this panel decisively and swiftly call out this kind of Islamophobia, this kind of racism. In the
I can't believe the Republicans aren't calling out Islamophobia. Patriots!
Context, right, that they are running to represent a state that has the highest per capita number of Muslim Americans in the country. Now, you might not hate Muslims, but I'll tell you, Muslims definitely hate you.
You may not hate Muslims, but Muslims definitely hate you. Quote from Abdul Rahman Mohammed El Sayed, guy who's literally the Democratic nominee for Congress. Holy shitballs. That's crazy. Now, Abdul El Sayed got this caught on a hot mic yesterday. All right, and this is pretty wild. So he was in Mackinac in Michigan. The most American place in all of Michigan, by the way. And this is what he had to say.
Please watch your step.
I hate Mackinac so much. It's funny because, like, if we win, this is going to be the, like, summer home. I'm just going to be like, every time I've ever come here, I've hated it. Why am I here?
I hate it here. I hate it here, he says, in literal paradise. He's like, man, I really like the squalor that I'm used to. I really like the squalor from Egypt, where I came from. Man, that place is way better, where 99.3% of the women were raped. That place is paradise. Not like this. Look at this shit. Clean roads. Bro, I don't see a single woman raped in this entire video, which in my opinion is diabolical. Now, Michigan Democratic Senate primary, Arab versus non-Arab voters. I want to show this to you because this poll, in my opinion, is so obvious and should radicalize the shit out of you. Non-Arab voters, Haley Stevens, she was the center-left candidate. She got 48.2%, and Abdul El Sayed got 47.9% of the vote. All right, so Haley Stevens, among non-Arab voters, this isn't just non-immigrants. This is just non-Arabs. Haley Stevens won. Among Arab voters, it was 94-6. All right, I hope you understand exactly how this works. You're getting colonized. That's right. Straight up, Michigan is getting colonized. That is, without a doubt, how it's working. They bring in a voter block, the voter block selects the candidate, and they win. Because the voter block is just enough to turn the tide. When 95% of them vote the same exact way, that's what's going to happen. Now, AIPAC Tracker has exposed themselves as now, let me make this clear. I hate AIPAC. I hate all foreign influence. I'm not a fan of any of this. I don't like AIPAC. AIPAC literally will support any candidate as long as they like Israel, even the leftoids and the scum shit of the earth. All right, I don't support AIPAC. I don't like them. That said, AIPAC is like, man, but Mike Rogers got 150 grand from AIPAC, and Abdul Rahman and Mohammed Al Sayed didn't. Oh my God, bro! I'm starting to like AIPAC. I'm starting to like AIPAC. All of a sudden, they're literally funding the good guys. It's like John America versus freaking Abdul Rahman Abdul Al Sayed. Bro, am I supposed to make believe that like, oh man, I hate foreign influence? Man, I really hate foreign influence. I'm going to give the election to Abdul Rahman. At least he gets support from the Muslim Brotherhood and not random American Jews, all right, from AIPAC. It's like, are we serious? What are we doing here? Like, why should I care about 150K from AIPAC? Abdul wants race-based tax policy, anti-white discrimination, abolish ICE, mass migration, emptying prisons, America deserve 9/11, trans children. And he literally supports all of that. But AIPAC donated to the other guy. That's right, even Atriok, and he's again a center leftist. He is part of the cripple fight that we are currently witnessing. Even he's frustrated with the AIPAC shit.
People overestimate how much leverage America truly has in the short term over Israel. In terms of like, everyone's like, pull away their funding. You can pull away their funding, absolutely. But if you actually look at the amount of funding that America gives Israel, first of all, it's pretty small by American budget standards. And secondly, 80% of it actually just goes back to American military contractors. It's actually mostly a jobs program for Raytheon and fucking, like, people think the biggest, most powerful lobbies in America is AIPAC. It's not even close. It's healthcare and military. Healthcare and military are the biggest lobbies. They are 1,000,000 times stronger. They are the ones that control politicians, and that's where the money goes. So
right after all of this, literally all of the far leftists decided to attack him because they have to make believe that AIPAC is controlling the country. So we have to elect Mohammed and Abdul Rahman fucker Shekelthai. Durka Mohammed Jihad. He needs to get elected in order to fight against a couple of nosy Jews that are donating to the other guy. Right? Understand what's going on. Now, Hasan Piker is really mad that the libtards are going against Abdul Rahman Abdul Al Sayed.
You are all unbelievably Islamophobic pieces of
You're so Islamophobic that you don't want a literal terrorist supporting retard. Can't say that word on YouTube. No, say no fuck. You don't want to support a guy that supports a terrorist organization. So what I'm saying?
You literally called the dude a terrorist.
Yeah. When you support terrorists, you do that.
For months on end, and like called him a sexist, misogynist, terrorist.
Yes, correct.
Bad.
Also, Hasan Pike, you're looking very fat in this suit. I don't know.
Candidate doesn't fake doctor when he has like 2 degrees.
He's not a physician.
And now you're gonna sit there and be like, well, you know, you really got to come to me now. Like, what are you talking about?
Now, they want to come together, and they're calling their own voters Islamophobic pieces of you-know-what.
Correct.
How does that work?
It doesn't. Spoilers, it doesn't. And he's going to get destroyed, probably. Cripple fight. Now, anyways, this is Abdul Rahman Al Sayed guy with Hasan Piker over here. Mr. America Deserves 9/11, collabing with 9/11. It's pretty good stuff. They're out there sucking each other's shit. You know how it is. You love it. Hasan says, no one hates America and Americans more than Republicans who burn our tax dollars to end this wars for profit and plunder. Yeah, like the left, like Democrats literally didn't start as many wars as Republicans. Our friends wars and profit and plunder the behest of the Epstein class. And by the way, anyone who says the term Epstein class is literally a third world peasant and should probably get deported. I would deport anyone that uses the term Epstein class, personally. Now, this is Hasan Piker making believe he cares about America. No one hates America more than Republicans. Well, this is a clip of Hasan Piker.
Patriotism in my heart for America, but just in general. I'm not like a very,
I have no patriotism in my heart for America. Man, he's really fat. That's crazy how fat he got. Now, Hasan Piker out here, campaign spokesman for Abdul El Sayed, thinks that bringing up his comment saying that America deserved 9/11 is racist and being weaponized to make Muslims look bad.
At some point, we got to realize, like, this 9/11 stuff is just only being weaponized as a way to make Muslims and Muslim candidates look bad. Like, it's a permission structure for Islamophobia. It's fucking ridiculous, dude.
Now, I'm going to tell you something very funny. In a very ironic way, but it is very funny. I think that 9/11 made Muslims look very bad. Not the fact that Muslims support 9/11. That too. But I think 9/11 ultimately was the thing that made Muslims look really bad. Also, it's the supporting of 9/11. Also, it's clearly getting to you, so we're going to keep doing it.
It's so ridiculous. It's so racist.
It's Islamophobic if you don't want Muslims to blow you up. I don't know if you're aware. If you're walking down the street and you're thinking to yourself, man, I really hope that I don't get blown up by a Muslim. You were just being Islamophobic. Now, it doesn't get better for Hasan Piker. He is getting blasted by everyone, and it is very entertaining. Now, Hasan Piker, for those of you that are unaware, is currently getting destroyed by the black people. Black W, we take those every day. Welcome, Bubble-O. Welcome into the alliance. Remember Abraham Lincoln. Remember him? He was so cool, wasn't he? Now, diabolical stuff. It truly is. So, black voters are all going against the Islamoids, and Hasan Piker... this doesn't sound very good.
I don't give a fuck what black people care about. Oh, black people care about this, black people care about that. Like, shut the fuck up. That's not how politics works. Oh, well, Hasan, how dare you? Like it or not, black people care about this issue. It's like, it's such a fucking stupid stance. Any other...
Yeah, I don't care if Muslims are offended when I say that 9/11 is bad.
Black folk want to engage in radical activist language in this fucking chat? Suck my fucking cock. Yes, dude. It's because I'm racist. That's why. It's because I'm racist, dude. Go back to a better time when lynchings were happening. This is what I like as a black man. Are you always doing too much with black people? Leave them alone. I want to go back to lynching. Like, I get it, but relax. Man, shut the up, okay? God damn. You got me, okay? You got me because I'm a racist person.
Yeah, true. Anyway, so very inclusive, by the way. It's literally his audience is actually just terrorists. And commies and terrorists, and he obviously hates black people. Duh. I mean, look how Muslims treated black people throughout the Middle East. They sold them. Literally, the number one slavers of black people in the Middle East and Africa are Muslims. Muslim slavers that sell black people. That's not even controversial. In Palestine, Hasan's favorite place ever, Palestine. I don't know if you were familiar with Palestine. It's not a real country. They started a couple wars. They lost all of them. They're pretty pathetic people, honestly. It's pretty brutal, actually. I feel bad for Palestinians. I really do, because like they're not real. Anyway, so in Palestine, they have a neighborhood called Abid neighborhood. Abid is Arabic for slaves. That's the neighborhood for the black people in Gaza. Literally, they have Slave Street for the blacks in Gaza. So again, this isn't like surprising, but it's very entertaining. Now, it keeps getting even better. So Hasan claimed that CNN issued a correction. So someone called him a dog shocker, and then he's claimed that CNN apologized.
Didn't you say you wanted to sue the CNN guy who said something about Kaya? Yeah, they already issued an apology.
They issued an apology. Community note. CNN aired a brief note the following day saying that Hasan denies it. This is a correction. And it was not an apology. Yeah, so no, it's because you abuse your dog. It's because you were a dog abusing, alleged pedophile, a racist piece of garbage. And you like terrorism. Hasan keeps going, baby. He doesn't stop.
I'm 100% closer to the prison abolitionist perspective than the average American's framework on this issue. Because, oh my God, you guys literally fantasize about the violent crimes that someone might have committed, and you fantasize further about how you need to create an equal vengeance structure. Americans sometimes literally feel like they want to be the rapist murderers.
What?
I'm 100% closer.
He thinks that the reason why prisons exist is because Americans want to feel like rapist murderers by putting them in jail when they rape and murder. Again, Hasan thinks that the people putting the rapist murderers in jail are worse than the actual rapist murderers. Again, he supports Hamas, so I'm not surprised. Like, he'll see Hamas slaughter some Jews, or whatever, and then Israel bombs them, and then it's like, okay, Israel just like bombing people, I guess. You know, now, Sri Thaneder is an Indian guy who just lost his election, and Hasan Piker was calling him out for animal abuse.
He's self-financing his campaign with all of his puppy abuse money. That was...
Let me make this clear. Hasan Piker is calling out Sri Thaneder for puppy abuse. Is he? Jeffrey Epstein, I hate pedophiles moment. This is... Oh my God, bro. He's really calling out Sri Thaneder for puppy abuse? Interesting. Definitely an interesting strategy, Hasan. Now, this is an old Hasan clip that just recently resurfaced, and I appreciate it.
Like, doing one good thing, which is that, like, if you have these millionaire, billionaire, WASP fail sons, at least taking them out of other colleges so they can only do date rape to other billionaire, millionaire failed daughters is, like, in some respects, you know, from a utilitarian perspective, of course, a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like, taking these guys and putting them in a pen with one another is ultimately getting them away from the broader society.
Yeah, so Hasan is basically saying we need to take rapists and we need to get the rapists to rape the white Christian women so they don't rape, not white Christian women. Because, they can only do a certain amount of rape, so they might as well rape the whites. This is literally what Hasan's saying. It's okay when it's a rich white girl, a rich white Christian, well, they can get raped. That's fine. But also, at the same time, he will deny the grooming gangs. Do you understand? What's a WASP? A WASP is a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, right? It's literally white Christians, literally based on identity. He is going after. He has this whole utilitarian plan about taking the rapists and putting them with the white Christian women. Literally, I'm not even exaggerating. This is his entire strategy, all right? So understand what we're dealing with over here. This, again, so he's a racist. We saw his clip about black people. He's a misogynist. We saw his clip about that. He's an anti-white racist and an anti-black racist. He literally supports prison abolition. He thinks that the reason why we put rapists in prison is because we want to be the rapist. That's his brilliant psychological analysis. He supports all forms of terrorism, literally everywhere, all over the place. And it's pretty insane. Now, this is another Hasan clip that recently went viral. I'll talk about this one a little later. No spoilers for later. And of course, breaking news, University of Washington cancels Hasan Piker event. It was determined the process for organizing this event did not meet the necessary level of rigor for university-hosted events in speaker series. Now, Hasan Piker is getting blasted everywhere. Let me explain to you the major difference between the left and the right. The left are gay. They're homosexuals. Their assholes leak. And because of this, they refuse to go after Hasan because they have no moral compass whatsoever. They have leaky butts, and because of their butt leaks, they have absolutely no ability to understand any form of moral hierarchy. They do not have the ability to define good and evil because they do not believe in God. They do not believe in good and evil. As their butt leaks, so does their brains. They have nothing to say whatsoever, and therefore their entire moral hierarchy is based on oppressed versus oppressor. It's a neo-Marxist lens instead of an actual good versus evil lens because they don't actually have some form of understanding of good and evil. They don't believe in God. In fact, they hate God most of the time, and because they can't actually come up with some sort of moral versus immoral stance on anything, they will embrace Hasan Piker. Because, hey, Hasan Piker's on our side, so I don't really give a shit that he supports terrorists and that he abuses dogs and that he allegedly rapes children in Germany and that he hates black people and that he's sexist against women and all that. They don't care about any of that. None of that matters because none of their values are real. Their values only exist within the absolutely perverse, dumb-ass, butt-leaky framework that exists when you don't actually believe in anything. Their morality is subjective, so it can be whatever they want it to be. So he will get softball after softball interview. Wherever he goes, he will get a softball interview on Pod Saves America, and he will get a softball interview on Brian Tyler Cohen, and he will get a softball interview on every piece of media outlet ever. Even on CNN, they used to be giving him softball interviews, but now, he's a threat to the right. And the right The right doesn't like terrorists. And that's why these clips are going viral right now. That's why Hasan Piker is being talked about right now. Because while he was a threat to the left was like, Bubba, we will take you in. We don't mind at all that you love terrorism and want to kill Jews. We also do. All right. We love that. We love killing Jews and Christians too. Yo, samesies. You like killing whites and Jews? We also like that. So, you know, they were able to get along in that regard. But when it comes to the right actually, it's a little awkward. The right actually has a moral compass. The right actually believes in God. The right believes in objective morality. And therefore, we don't like terrorism. And Hasan Piker is going to get deported. And I will be laughing hard. Now, everything we love is falling apart. I don't know, man. You import the third world, you become the third world. Asmongold has been banned on Twitch. Now, this is diabolical. It really is. We used to think he was Asmongoy, but he's truly Asmongoldstein. He's evolved over time. And, you know, honestly, I think I know what it was. You know, a lot of people are saying that it's this clip, it's that clip. He hates terrorists. And I feel like that got him banned on Twitch. I think it's actually that simple. Now, obviously, I'm being facetious. I'm exaggerating. Yes, Hasan immediately responds to Asmongold getting banned with the Hitler dead emoji, right? Because again, Hasan Piker supports Hamas, literal terrorist group who advocates for the eradication of the Jewish people, calls Asmongold Hitler. Again, it's pretty funny if you think about it, in a pretty sick fuck kind of way. All right, now, Asmongold probably got banned for this clip. Now, this clip was going really viral lately. I will show it to you. And it seems like this is the clip that actually got him banned.
Always, this is emotional blackmail.
And it's quiet.
You can't shoot these people. They have kids with them. Well, then don't bring your kids. If you don't want to get shot, then don't bring your fucking kids. It's really simple. You mean you'd shoot adults and deport the kids, right? Well, I'd shoot whoever. Yeah, I'd shoot whoever. I mean, if it's kids, women, men, anybody, just shoot them. They're going to stop coming over. Because if you don't do that, they'll use children and women as shields to get themselves over. And then they'll put more women and children at risk because they know that they can use them as collateral so they can get more of themselves over. That's the way it works. That's the way an animal thinks, and these people are animals.
Yep. Anyway, now let me just remind you, Twitch banned all of Israel for like 2 years. All right, so like no one is surprised that they take the anti-terrorist stance very badly. So again, that's a real thing that Twitch actually did. For those of you that are unaware, I covered this like a year ago. They banned the entire country of Israel. Just to be clear. All right, they've also banned me. They've banned Tectone. I'm currently unbanned on Twitch, actually. I don't stream there because it's for gay people. But the reality is, this place sucks. It really does. It's owned by Amazon, it's run by terrorists, and it really sucks. Now, again, Asmongold could join the slightly broad and growing area, by the way, the growing area of right-wing content creators that are getting destroyed. Now, just to be clear, I am fully demonetized on YouTube. Asmongold banned on Twitch. All right, Smugalana is a conservative VTuber lady. She just got a strike on our YouTube channel for showing a video of squishing a mosquito. Not even kidding. They called it animal abuse because obviously that very much offended Somalis for reasons that I will not elaborate on YouTube. All right, now the point that I'm trying to make is very simple. Asmongold seems like he was banned for this clip, advocating for shooting invaders, including children. Now, I don't want to let my actual moral stance on this be fully known on YouTube, so I made an entire deep dive on Patreon for the morality of killing children. That's right, I did do it. I did an entire video. It's on Patreon. The people that watched that video on Patreon said they really liked it. Full deep dive on the morality or immorality, I will not be clear on my stance, on killing children. That's right. It was a diabolical upload. I do have to say so myself. It's on Patreon right now, which is linked in my description. I'm fully demonetized on YouTube. If you want to support me, that really helps a lot. Now, obviously, when you have an invading force coming into your nation, obliterating them is a good thing, actually. Now, this is a really hot take. Now, here's the thing. Are you supposed to sit there and check the ages of people invading your nation? You have a 17-year-old. Oh, you're 17. I'm not allowed to kill you now. Sorry. Nah, bro. When there are invaders coming to your nation, you have to stop the invaders from entering your nation. And if they use human shields and kids die, then it's their fault, baby. It's their fault. It is. It really is. It's 100% their fault. Maybe don't bring children to war. All right, again, you are dealing with an actual death cult, all right, that is willing to bring children as weapons, as little bioweapons for war. Now, if you actually look at what happened in Spain, they brought 50 to 80,000 people invaded Ceuta in Spain. Spain already transported 1,000 children to the Spanish mainland. They've already brought them in. Those people will have children. They will not assimilate to the culture. They have been invaded. If you look at the Bible is pretty clear about its stance on these things. Now, this is an old Hasan clip that recently resurfaced, and it went giga viral. Thank you to everyone that is making sure the world realizes that Hasan Piker is evil.
We're gonna keep bringing in immigrants in this country on purpose, just so they can fuck your sister, and then maybe even your daughter. We're gonna destroy the white race, bitch. That's what we're here to do.
Absolute cinema that he just says the quiet part out loud. Now, of course, his defense, I was just joking. I was just kidding, guys. Now, again, it's very obvious that he likes this. He wants it to happen. He wants it to keep happening. He knows it is happening. And but he's just said it as a goofy, as a oopsie, as a joke. This is before his balls descended for the second time. And his voice is all nasally and shit. But the reality is, everyone knows this is happening. Twitch is going to ban Asmongold, but they're not going to ban this. That's pretty weird. Now, Elon Musk actually reposted that, saying, why does Twitch have this double standard? Asmongold banned for saying that people should defend their borders. Hasan Piker not banned for calling for the genocide of white people. All right. Again, he wasn't banned for calling for the genocide of Jews, so I guess no one should be surprised that he's not called for the ban for the genocide of white people. And Asmongold responds, Twitch is ideologically captured by left-wing terrorism supporters, whether it's Islamic terrorism, BLM, or Tesla bombings. These leftists will always enable and promote it. They do this because it works and because the government refuses to hold them accountable. This is just true. I wish Donald Trump was the fascist that the left actually thinks he is. I will vote for, I'm a single issue voter, okay? I will vote for the first guy that will deport Hasan Piker. I'm a very simple man. And I think that's going to be Marco Rubio. I'm just saying, I think Marco Rubio is actually going to do it. He's going after the Chinese connections. He's going after the all the Cuban connections and operatives. I will vote for the first guy who will deport Hasan Piker. I'm a simple man. That's my guy. Now, obviously, Elon Musk keeps going. This guy says we're here to destroy the white race, Democratic Socialist of America. Hero declares war on the West. Elon Musk responds with exclamation marks. Hey, pay attention. They're coming to kill you. Now, I want to show you a really funny clip. This clip actually came out really recently. Now, obviously, everyone claims that Hamas uses human shields, and they do. You know, they literally fired missiles from preschools. Now, every time someone's like, oh my God, there's a patenticide in Palestine. The Palestinians are patenticide themselves. I have a very simple thing to say. Where was Yahya Sinwar when he died? Now, for those of you that are unaware, Yahya Sinwar was the leader of Hamas. Where was he when he died? He was in a tunnel under a hospital when he died. If that doesn't make it really clear, what their actual strategy was, I don't know what does. Now, again, this is the clip that just came out. All right, so these are Israeli military. This is the IDF. And this is a poor Palestinian father and son. Literally holding his son as a human shield, charging at Israeli soldiers. Look at him. He's pushing his son ahead of him at Israeli soldiers. Look at him. And he steps back. And he's telling the son, go up to the Israeli soldiers. Now, what's happening actually is that he wants this is sick as shit. All right, you're not going to be able to believe it because the first world mind, the Western mind, is so shaped by Christian morality that we cannot even comprehend that someone would do this. From their perspective, this is jihad. This is holy war. And if these IDF soldiers shoot this child, then he will be able to use this dead child as propaganda to fight his holy war. You will never, ever be able to comprehend this if you do not possibly witness it with your own eyes. This is the reality. They have had multiple instances of them strapping suicide vests on children like this, because who's gonna stop the children? You know, the reality is very simple. The reality is, you have someone like Asmongold saying that they are literally using children as weapons because they know that they're going to be able to manipulate leftist Western ideology to stop us from actually fighting back. And the reality is, he is correct. That's it. And I talk about the full. I go way harder on Patreon. I can only say this much. All right. Asmongold says the border should be secured, banned. Abuses animals, glorifies terrorism, mocks 9/11, sends death threats, never banned. Interesting how that happened. Now let's see what Asmongold had to say about this. But before that, yeah, I did make a full deep dive on my Patreon. Full deep dive on my Patreon. Exactly on what we have to say. I made a full deep dive on all of the morality of child killing, or lack thereof. I'm not gonna say which side I take. Okay, I'm not gonna say which side I take. On Patreon. But anyway, let's see what Asmongold had to say about this.
Hey guys, it's me again.
God.
And usually
you know it's serious because he's recording this on a potato. That's how you know it's serious. Dude, yeah, obviously. All right, what do we got? What do we got, bald man?
At this point, I've already made like 2 or 3 other videos about why I got suspended on Twitch, and I've been farming this a lot. But unfortunately, something that has nothing to do with Twitch at all actually took precedence over this, and that's why I haven't really made any comments or said anything on anywhere about any of this. Right. And so, first part of this video is going to be talking about that, and then the second part is going to be talking about the Twitch suspension. I got suspended for 2 weeks. I'll probably try to appeal it, see if I can get it down to a week.
Bro, someone just sent me this clip. Sneeko just posted this. Jihad is our destiny.
Real life starts when you die.
I'm supposed to make believe this is a normal person. I'm supposed to make believe this is an ideology that's just assimilatable. Get out of here.
Week, we don't really know. If not,
well, then Asmongold is helping all these immigrants get to their real life real quick. Patriot!
Stream on Kick or something. Maybe I'll just take a vacation. I'm not really sure. I haven't decided yet. But anyway, that's the TLDR. So about 3 or 4 days ago, because the day that I got suspended, I actually didn't even go live. Now, why is that? Well, it's because the day before that, I had a health symptom that was identical to my dad's health symptom before he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. So this, I got really upset.
Oh my God.
I was freaking out. And so I'm laying in bed. I'm fucking petrified. I am like panicked. I'm looking things up online. I'm messaging people. I eventually go to the emergency room and I go through all of this. And I don't want to get into the details of what the symptoms were or anything because honestly, it's kind of gross. But all you need to know is that that's pretty much what happened. And so I fell asleep on the futon over there, and I wake up, and this is like the day I got suspended, and I had been like at this point I had not been on my computer at all in like 24 hours, right? Because I was so stressed out and upset about this. All I could do was just lay down, and I didn't know, like, am I dying? Is there something wrong with me, right? And so I look at and I see
chat, shut up, all right? Stop coming up with ideas for what potentially potential symptoms you might be having. I don't care, all right? Shut up, chat.
Like this is stupid, but like I can see the reflection of this monitor from this monitor, and I can kind of see
literally everyone in my chat is spamming poop blood, bleeding from his ass, poop blood. All right, shut up. Shut up! This is why you're not on screen, by the way.
Like, are there new messages? And I saw that there was like a post about like a tweet, and I'm like,
oh, bro, gets a Chinese girlfriend, gets cancer, gets banned on Twitch. Holy shit. Coincidence? Coincidence?
I just had a feeling that I was getting suspended, right? I just had a feeling, and I looked and I got suspended, and I was like, this is the first time I got on the computer. I'm like, well, how long is it? I said 14 days. I said, thank God, right? Thank God. Now I'm gonna have 2 weeks to deal with this problem, right? So.
Dude, at least he
honestly,
has time.
That's the way that I felt. Like, I wasn't really even stressed out or upset about it. I'm still really not. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, Twitch is fucking retarded, and what do you expect, right? But
I mean, hey, I'm fully demonetized on YouTube. All right, listen, man, it's all the tech oligarchs. They hate you and they want to destroy you. They really do. They're trying to silence you, and they're trying to do it. Oh, we don't silence people. Oh yeah, Nux did harassment. We have to demonetize all of his channels. Hopefully, he'll die now.
Anyway, so all this happens, and, I immediately just got off the computer. I didn't really think about it, honestly. So, because I was so worried about this health problem, then fast forward to the following day, I talked to a couple of people that I know that I could ask about this, and I get one person, I go, and I finally go to the emergency room after talking to one doctor, and they looked at everything. They, basically said, calm down.
My entire Kick chat is spamming poo blood. And my entire Rumble chat is just saying the N-word. This is the greatest job of all time! The greatest job ever!
Down, retard, it's okay. And, I'm okay. I'm okay, especially this morning. These symptoms have totally gone away. If you want me to be honest, like, just completely
like 100% like just transparent, I'm still worried. I am. I'm 36 years old. I have had really no health problems ever in my entire life other than my teeth. And I see all my friends that are like, you know, now they have this issue, now they have that issue. And it's like, when is it going to be time? My mom used to always say, and this would always upset me, but it's true, something's going to take you home, right? And it does really scare me a lot. And I, you know, like a lot of times I like to think of myself as being above that, right? But whenever you're faced with it, I realized that I was very much below it. I was extremely scared. I was very upset, and I was really worried. And so I've been dealing with that for the past about 3 or 4 days. And now that it's
Listen, Asmongold, you're a wealthy man, so I'm sure you got this shit covered. But I all my cousins are doctors. Just saying, I have all the Jew connections you could possibly want. If you ever need any help, you could always reach out.
partially resolved, I'm probably going to get a follow-up appointment and have, you know, like a bit more like testing done about this to make sure that I'm okay. But otherwise, you know, like that's pretty much the reason why I didn't make any comments about it. I was just so preoccupied with that, you know, like I just didn't really even give a fuck about Twitch, right? I mean, it's funny how, you know, you can have something that's like, you know, one of the biggest parts of your life, which is like my stream, and then like something else can happen and it's like the other thing just doesn't even exist anymore, right? It's a very, very weird paradox of life. But anyway, so that's pretty much what happened with me, you know, a couple of days ago, a few days ago. That's why I'd even taken a day off that day. And so, you know, this happens and I'm like, oh, wow, I'm such a relief. Now I don't have to feel bad about not going live, right? And so anyway, I got suspended for 14 days. That's what happened. You know, again, you know, wow, a 36-year-old man has a health
I'm just saying, Asmongold is not suicidal. I'm just saying.
Scare. This has never happened before in the history of humanity. But yeah, that's pretty much what it was. So anyway, the second part is going to be about why I got suspended. So I got suspended because, and just to add some context, because this has been very editorialized on the on Twitter and everything like this. But basically what I said was that, you know, so Ceuta, which is, and a little bit of geography here. So Spain is like on the top of the Mediterranean Sea. Strait of Gibraltar is like right here, Spain, right? And so underneath that is Morocco. And in the very, very tip of Morocco, there's a city that's owned by Spain. And it's been owned by Spain for hundreds of years. This isn't like something
Actually, that's not at the tip of Morocco. That is Spain. All right, it's in Africa, technically, but it's Spain.
New.
Yeah.
This isn't like a recent occupation. This has been going on for like, you know, since before like the, you know, it's like the Ottoman Empire time days, right? I don't know. I remember reading the date that it happened, but it was like literally hundreds of years ago. So they've had this city, it's called Ceuta, for a long time. City has a population of about 80,000 people, and 40 to 60,000, obviously just by the nature of this, it's not really verified how many, random migrants just all came over in about basically one day's time into this small city. Now, this is, in my opinion, like in any other point in history, this would be viewed as a military invasion because, of course, the overwhelming majority of these people are military-aged men. And so what I said is that I think that if you have that many people pouring over your border and you just can't deal with it all, like you can look at the footage of this and it literally looks like it's World War Z. It looks like a fucking, like a battlefield, right? It's like a hell on earth
straight up invasion.
There's trash everywhere.
And it should be treated like a military invasion.
I'm straight upset. I think you should shoot these people, right? I mean, like, I believe that. I do. I mean, this is a violent.
When throughout all of history, all right, and again, I am not talking about modern world of dumbasses, okay? Just want to make this very clear, all right? I'm not talking about the homosexual oligarchs that are controlling the West, all right? I am talking about throughout all of human history, when have we not treated 50,000 people storming your country as a straight-up invasion, where the normal, moderate response is executing all of them, all right? Listen, we're not even talking about going to their homeland and genociding them so they can't do it again. I'm not even going that far. Just to be clear, I would never go that far on YouTube. You should watch my video on Patreon. I would never go that far. But just to be clear, when have we not considered this as a straight-up invasion where you obliterate every invader? Like, come on, dude.
Military invasion into a city, and after they got into the city,
like, no one wants to talk about this, but did you know that the majority of the trust and safety team on Twitch is literally based in Egypt? Like, this was a big revelation back in the days when they banned Israel from Twitch. Like, most of the trust and safety team is literally in Egypt. All right? Like, do we understand why perhaps they might not be happy with this take?
Obviously, these people were smashing out windows. They were obviously, you know, breaking into stores, stealing things out of stores. I saw, like, one video. It's always hard to know, like, what's real and what's not. But I saw a video, and it's like, if you ever watch Troy, like, whenever, like, a fucking Brad Pitt as Achilles, like, stabbed the dude in the neck at the beginning of the movie, that's, like, what happened. Like, one of these, like, migrants seemingly stabbed the random citizen in the neck with this knife.
By not shooting a couple of people invading, think about the thousands of rape victims that are going to follow in your homeland. Think about
right?
that.
And they killed this person, I'm assuming.
Empathy for the invaders is apathy for your own people.
Right? Or at least they're in critical condition. So basically the city is being terrorized by a mass invasion of military-aged migrants that have come over for, you know, various different reasons. And people are saying that you couldn't do that because, well, there might be kids in the crowd. And my response to that is that you should shoot them anyway. You should do this anyway. And it doesn't matter really what the collateral damage is. You should defend your borders, especially when you're being invaded by such a massive force of people. So this never really was a...
And it's funny how, obviously, the Muslim world who wants to invade you, it's really funny how they all see this as a completely immoral thing. They're like, listen, these children are very effective bioweapons. They really are. They're very effective weapons against the left that could be utterly manipulated by women that have the right to vote. They can be we can manipulate them because obviously that footage would be very gruesome, and we can manipulate them into literally just giving us free reign of their countries.
Conversation about, like, you know, baseline immigration enforcement. It was never about, like, you know, using kids or anything like that. But the reality is that with a lot of these third world countries and a lot of their cultures in the world, if you use a Western frame of reference to look at the values and the morality of the third world people like this, you're going to render yourself blind. You will not understand their theory of mind. They don't look.
We are living. We are here after thousands of years of Christian civilization, okay? We are here after a civilization that was molded by the Bible and by the biblical values within it, all right? They were not. They were not. We cannot fathom the savagery and evil that's going on over there. They are monstrosities.
Look at things the way that you do. That's why Joseph Kony has his child army, and there was Kony 2012 and everything. That never really went away, by the way. It's still happening.
In Iran, they wanted to invade Iraq. Okay? So, the Iraqis created a gigantic minefield all over the border, all right, of between Iraq and Iran. So, Iran, in 1979, took children that were too young and weak to hold assault rifles, and they had them walk through the minefields to blow up the mines on themselves to clear the minefield. They killed hundreds of their own children to clear out the minefield with their bodies. That is not an ideology I could ever understand.
You know, it might not be necessarily him, but there's other ones that are just as bad, if not worse. So
yeah, the boys, not the women. The children, females were wives.
Problem is that a lot of Westerners' morality is built off of the concept that everybody else thinks the way that we do, and unfortunately, that's not the reality. And so what these people will do is that they will bring kids with them, and they will use these kids as effectively human shields in order to invade the country and then take advantage of the people in the country. I view this a lot like a trolley problem, and so the reason what I mean by that is that basically you're choosing to stop the invaders here.
I don't view it as a trolley problem at all. I view it as a question of basic morality. Morality dictates you kill the people trying to invade your nation. And then they'll stop and try to invade your nation. I don't actually see it as a trolley problem at all.
Rather than creating a reward structure and an incentive structure around using kids, trafficking children, and effective...
Trolley problem implies that there are two bad decisions, and you have to make the weaker of two bad decisions. I disagree. Personally, I disagree. I don't believe in two bad decisions. I believe that there is a right decision and a wrong decision. So I don't even think this is a trolley problem. I think defending your nation is actually just the basic thing to do, that everyone throughout all of history have always done, and that, by the way, the Bible would tell you to do. Literally. The Midianites attacked the Israelites in the desert. The Israelites won, defeated them. And you know what happened after that? God commanded the Israelites to execute the surviving Midianites. Literally. To execute them. If he wouldn't have executed them, they would have ended up regrouping. They would have attacked again. They would have had children. If they would have kept them in their nation, they would have continued. That was literally the commandment of God. All right? I'm not even talking about the Amalekites, which was a whole other situation, which a lot of people have issues with, where God literally commanded Saul to genocide them. Literally to genocide them. All right? By the way. All right? Now, again, you're missing his point. I know his point. His point is, if you kill a few children now that are invading the nation, then the other invaders won't be able. They'll stop. They'll stop using children as shields to invade the nation. I get what he's saying, but he's viewing it as a trolley problem, and I'm not. There's a right decision and there's a wrong decision. In my opinion, I think that the right decision is defending your borders. And yeah, it really sucks. It really sucks that they decided to let these children die, and their blood is on their hands. The blood is not on the hands of the people defending their nation. The blood is on the hands that use child soldiers to invade their neighbors. Sorry, that's where it stands for me. It's like when you see a guy literally be like, "Hey, I'm gonna literally use a child as a human shield. I'm gonna fire missiles from a nursery." All right. When I see something like that, okay, and then it's like, "Oh, the IDF destroyed a nursery, killed children." It's like, yeah, it's Hamas's fault that these kids are dead. That's my stance. Bunny Slat, thanks for the 500 bits. Love you, Nux. Don't has a little one on the way. Congratulations.
Using them as political capital to fulfill an invasion's goal, which is to effectively take over this country. We're not take it over, right? But invade the city and then use the city as a way to get into mainland Spain and then disperse themselves all over Europe. This is, I think, a very bad thing, and I think it should be stopped by any means necessary. I think this is a horrible problem. A lot of the people that are coming over there, many of them could be criminals.
Tragedy that people will die. Absolutely a tragedy that people would die. And you know whose fault it is? The invaders. Period. The end.
We have no idea. People said Morocco emptied their prisons and let those people come over. I have no idea if they did that or not. I would assume in many cases they did. That's what Russia's done apparently with Ukraine. And so I don't really think this is the first time this has ever happened. There's many precedents for this. A lot of people look at this from the perspective of human rights or something like this, and I find this to be one of the most malignant and pernicious.
Human rights are not real. They were invented by homosexual libtards. All right? Human rights are not real.
Abuses and inversions of morality that we have nowadays.
Bro.
And I'll explain why. Never once have I ever heard about the human rights or the privileges or, what's the right thing to do for all of the people in the city who are now having to be terrified in their homes, boarding their houses up. You have these migrants banging on their doors, smashing their windows, destroying their businesses, potentially violating them, attacking them, and doing whatever they can to these people.
See, they believe that the third worlders are ultimately the same as you. They believe that all cultures are equal. And they're totally right. All cultures are exactly the same. That's right. Here on YouTube, we acknowledge the equality of all the cultures. All right, because all cultures are totally equal and the same. Someone in my chat just brought up the New Guinea cum warriors, where they rape children in order to imbue them with the cum and spirits of their ancestors to fight each other to the death. Sounds like an equal culture to me.
Not once in my entire life have I ever heard about the concept of their human rights. I never hear about the people who have been the victims.
Because human rights is communist gobbledygook. Human rights are part of the commie manipulation technique. All right? The truth is, some cultures are more equal than others.
Victims of these policies and this lax enforcement whose lives have been effectively destroyed, and then for some reason we never think about them. We don't care about them. The only people that we care about are these invaders that are going around trying to take advantage of the country. And I think this is a profound inversion of morality. I don't think that any country has an obligation to take in migrants. I don't think any country has an obligation to let people invade their borders. And I think that at at the capacity that was happening with Cuba, I do think that you should use lethal military force to repel a literal fucking invasion. Keep in mind, this is a city of 80,000 people, and 40 to 60,000 additional people tried to come in one day.
Yeah.
That's an invasion, and I think they should use guns to stop it. And I'm not sorry for saying that. And it doesn't matter what you try to use as, you know, emotional blackmail or something like that. Fundamentally, all of these different tools that these people use will never actually be applied in a universal way. These are the same people whose ideology leads them to thinking that 6-year-olds can transition to another gender. They're the ones that lead themselves
Completely
to, defending
immoral
Hamas
dipshits.
and terrorist propaganda, because terrorists like to use kids as human shields
That's
as well,
right, baby.
because they like to shoot rockets from schools.
That's
the
right,
reason
baby.
Why they do that is because there is a reward structure inside of our society that puts the damaging and the harm to children and women at a higher standard than the harm to, like, a military-aged man. Now, in a general sense, I would agree with that in a peacetime reality, but whenever these people are launching rockets and large-scale invasions, I think that you need to look at this as a wartime event. And I would ask yourself, how many people got killed in World War II? How many people get killed in every single war? Civilian casualties and killing anybody who's not a combatant is a tragedy. It's a horrible thing to have happen. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that you're not allowed to have borders, and it doesn't mean that you can't make decisions to protect your own people, even if it comes at the expense of other people that are trying to do this in bad faith and use this. And
That's right. You have to obliterate your enemy to protect your nation. This is very obvious, actually. It's been obvious through all of human history. Japan attacked us in Pearl Harbor. We killed 300,000 Japanese people. Civilians, by the way, with 2 nuclear bombs. And you know what? The war ended. The war ended. Japan apologized. They surrendered. And now we're allies. Isn't that nice? I'm just noticing the fact that no one's screaming. Well, I mean, they were probably screaming a lot. But wait, I'm just saying, that's what happened. The end. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
by the way, the usage of people like this as human shields is a war crime in itself.
Yeah, they don't care.
And that's,
their defense is, oh, but they're terrorists, so they're allowed to do war crimes. That's literally what they say. Iran is bombing ships on the Strait of Hormuz as we speak, and we're supposed to make believe that that's not terrorism? They're literally bombing civilian ships? It's terrorism. You know, literally cookie cutter basic bitch terrorism, and they're blaming the United States for it. They're like, well, I guess Trump shouldn't have killed terrorists because now terrorists are going to kill civilians. Excuse me, what?
I think the biggest issue that I have with a lot of these people that are criticizing this is that I don't think that they really care about these kids. They don't give a shit about them. Like, these are the people, they'll bring kids to an ICE protest.
I got people in my comments discussing this on Patreon, actually. Someone said, I disagree. You shouldn't be allowed to kill kids because kids are children and children cannot consent. And it's like, their consent is irrelevant. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. Because there is a law, in fact, that self-defense could be used against kid. If there's a kid with an RPG and he is about to blow your house up, you're allowed to kill him before he kills you. That's basic self-defense, and it's perfectly legal and moral. But he's a kid. He didn't consent. Sorry, that's not part of the discussion anymore.
That, like, why would you bring a kid to a protest where there's rioting?
It's really sad.
And there's
Don't get me wrong.
flashbang grenades
It's
and tear gas
tragic.
being sent off. And the truth is,
but it's
there
about
is
defending
a reason
yourself.
for it. The reason why they do that is because they want to use these kids and the harm that these kids will inevitably go through because of collateral damage, and they want to use this as a political tool so they can advance their agenda. These people they're sick. They're sick, evil people. And I also referred to the people that use the human shields as animals. Yeah, that's exactly what I think. I think they're fucking animals. If you use children as human shields in order for you to invade a country or in order for you to do terrorist attacks, I think that you're a fucking animal. And I'm not sorry for it. And I honestly think that most people agree with me.
Civilizational enemy.
I think that almost everybody
Destroy
does.
them.
But unfortunately,
they don't understand. I feel like so many people, they're just not in the know. They don't really know what's going on. They're like, killing children that are just seeking a better life. And they're completely and utterly mind raped by the propaganda.
we've had this inversion of morality where these truly evil, malignant, pernicious people have been allowed to use this fake moral authority that they have to dictate that we have to allow terrorism, violence, and complete societal collapse. And if we don't allow this, somehow we're the ones that are evil. I reject this completely. And I understand that in doing so, there might be some people, this isn't a very comfortable thing to say. It's not a very polite thing to say. This isn't something that you'd read on a bumper sticker. But I think this is the nature of the world, and it's the nature of the reality that we live in. And I don't want to use a bunch of euphemisms and other types of vague and pacified language to discuss this in a way that is not authentic to its true harm and its true existence, which is what I think that's what it is. And I think that there are definitely criticisms people have of me that are valid, where like I probably do dial it up a little bit too much and maybe I could use different rhetoric, etc. But I want to let you know that I apologize for nothing. I meant exactly what I said.
That's right,
and
baby.
I think that these borders should be defended with lethal force whenever it's being invaded by 40 to 60,000 people at the same time.
That's right, dude.
That's an incredibly dangerous thing for all the people that live in that country. And I don't think that a government has an obligation to allow a bunch of invaders to pour over and potentially kill their own citizens. I find this to just be horrible. And ultimately, it should be stopped. Also, there are a lot of other patterns, like I'll give another parallel to this as well, is that in a lot of gang culture, what they do, and this is, of course, nothing like this is a monolith, but many of people like this, what they do is they'll use children to commit crimes because they know the children will not be sentenced in the same way that an adult will do. And what my biggest argument for all of this is that I generally, and I know people might not believe this, I think most people do believe this, but the people that don't like me don't believe this, or they don't want to, is that I think that I really do have the most moral and ethical position on this. Because the moment that you create an incentive, you also drive a behavior. And in my opinion, if you don't capitulate to this emotional blackmail, you also don't allow these people to target and victimize these children by using them as baggage and effectively shock troopers in order to accomplish a goal. So, for example, if these kids were being charged as adults, the entire tool that these people were using, these gangs were using of having children commit crimes on their behalf, this tool would effectively be rendered ineffective. But we don't want to do that because it makes people sad to put kids in jail. But from my perspective, the way that I see it is that it makes me sad to see kids that were abused, that are trafficked, and that are put into these situations because the people that are truly and profoundly evil, the people that know this, know that they can use these children because they can co-opt and use your morality against you so they can push their own evil designs.
Totally right.
And I think that you do have to
It's
reject...
almost like enacting the moral law and defending your borders would literally protect your neighbor's children. Do you understand how incredible that is? Like, I'll give you the easiest example of all time. 250,000 people, children, were trafficked across the southern border of the United States over Biden's term. 250,000 children, bro. The difference between Asmongold takes and Nux takes is 6 months. Dude, I've been saying this I've been saying this. All that was allowed to happen because the left needed to be empathetic to the people invading our country. Oh, they're trying to invade our country. Oh, they're children. We need to just let them invade our country. We can't possibly deport them. We can't arrest them and deport them. No, of course not. We have to let them keep invading. 250,000 children got trafficked. Now, I personally think that child trafficking warrants the death penalty. That's my opinion. I've always been saying this. I think if you traffic a child, you should get the death penalty. In fact, so does God. It's literally in Deuteronomy, in Exodus 21. It says that openly, right? You traffic child, you get the death penalty. I think that's really obvious. It's an unbelievable evil. And if we had strong borders, and yes, that would include arresting a couple of children and deporting them. That's right. That means if we would use lethal force on our borders, we might kill like 5 invaders before they realize that they can't do that shit anymore. And you know what? We would have rescued 250,000 children from being trafficked. The reality is, God's moral law is actually better than no matter what commie gobbledygook human rights ass pull you come up with.
this in its entirety in order to have a society that isn't ruled by evil, inversion, and other types of just completely horrible people. And ultimately, you do have to sometimes make hard decisions like that, but ultimately making a hard decision like that should never have... that's my alarm. I was supposed to get up. It's 2:46 p.m.
Oh my God.
And so, excuse me on that. You do have to make these hard decisions. You do have to do things that are obviously, sometimes not the nicest things in the world. But I think that in order to do that, you do that in the goal to preserve a culture that is the best place that you want to live in the world as well. So that's the problem that I have. I don't think that I said anything wrong. I think that a lot of people actually would agree with me. And I think that the way that we've taken military action in the past, things like, for example, World War II, would indicate that actually this is not as much an objective reality that some people would make it out to be. And again, these are the same people that have no problem using children as props and having them, groomed by adults, about their gender, taking them to ICE protests, putting them directly in danger because there are rioters and criminals and violence there. Who would ever bring a kid there? And these are the same people that are saying that I'm wrong for saying that creating an incentive for people to human traffic children and use them as human shields is a bad thing. And so I apologize for absolutely nothing. I said it in a very abrasive way, and I'm going to continue communicating that way. It's how I was raised. The reality is that, I was driving my dad to the hospital. He was getting one of his cancer treatments. And he said, well, what's funny about this? And I said, what? And he says, well, now they can say you killed me too, just like they say you killed your mom.
Oh my God.
That's the way I grew up. That's the way I communicate. And that's the way I think. And I'm not sorry. And I understand that sometimes I use abrasive language. Sometimes I communicate in a way that's a little bit, harsh. And, people can say I'm mean. They can say I'm evil. They can say everything.
Say I'm wrong.
But they're not saying I'm wrong.
There it is.
And I think that ultimately
the line.
we should look at a lot of these uncomfortable truths with a lot more of a clear mind, rather than allowing it to be polluted by people that I think want to hurt us, people that want to put us in a position that is not advantageous. And that's the reason why I communicate the way that I do. It is hopefully to normalize this type of language and for people to see things for what they are rather than what they want them to be. And I think that's for better and for worse. So that's the
if that ends up causing us to have manned gun turrets along our border to make sure that anyone that tries to enter ends up finding God, well, so be it, I guess. Oops.
Reason why I talk the way that I do.
Never back down, never surrender. Fuck the enemy.
I'm not sorry. It's probably not going to have to. It's probably not going to stop.
That wasn't instruction. You shouldn't literally Okay, you get what I'm saying.
I might try to I'm going to try to obviously tone it down a little bit because I don't want to get suspended all the time, right? Contrary to popular belief, it's great to have a vacation, but I don't want to have them all the time. And so,
listen, man, being demonetized on YouTube is a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Literally, YouTube told me, we're shadow banning you now. It's like, oh, man, I love that. I love that.
That's pretty much where things stand. That's the way that I feel. That's my reasoning for it. I view it as a trolley problem, and I think it enables human trafficking the moment that you capitulate to that type of emotional blackmail. So that's really the way that I feel. And I know this might be a harsh opinion. It might not be something that everybody agrees with, but I think it is the ethically correct thing to do.
Yeah, damn, bro. He cooked.
Given the the implications of doing otherwise. So anyway, that's the way that I feel. Now what's going to happen now? I'll probably file an appeal in a day or so. Hopefully I can get unsuspended earlier. I don't really know. I'll probably I can try to I wish I could just talk to them. It's really funny. So Twitch emails me and they say yeah, you had an accidental content violation because you accidentally showed something on your stream you shouldn't have showed. And they sent me an email for this. So I said, I respond back. I'm like, oh yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And so then I get suspended for 2 weeks. No email. I don't have any email. So this is the funniest thing. By the way, I actually don't even know this is why I got banned. Twitch has never communicated to me what the thing is that I did wrong that got me banned. I'm just guessing it's probably the thing that everybody was mad about.
That's what they all do, by the way. All right, again, I'm fully demonetized on YouTube. They still have yet to tell me what I did. Not only that, they didn't even tell my YouTube manager, all right? My guy, by direct contact at YouTube, that works at YouTube, that directly talked to the people at the Trust and Safety team that demonetized me, They didn't even tell him. They were just like, oh, harassment. We had to demonetize his entire channel. Oops. Oopsie poopsie.
Right? So, I don't know, maybe it's actually some other random clip that had nothing to do with this. But, you know, that's generally what my thinking on it is. Will I be back? Yeah, sure, I'll be back. It's been nice to have a little bit of a vacation. I've been stressed out about other, like, life stuff. I feel like I'm in kind of a position in my life now where it's like, what am I doing with my life? Where do I want to be in 5 or 10 years, right? It's like, you know, kind of midlife crisis type stuff I'm dealing with. I don't talk about this a lot on stream because it's stupid, boring.
Got a Chinese girlfriend. Everything's falling apart. Interesting.
And it's also, it's you know, it's indulgent, and I don't want to treat my viewers like my own personal diary, but I have been going through my own personal issues as well, especially right after losing both my parents, and I'm living here by myself, and, you know, it gives you a lot of questions for, like, what to do in life, and, you know, I don't want to get too into that, but, you know, just know that that's the backdrop for a lot of the ways that, you know, like, I'm dealing with things personally off stream. And so, yeah, and then all these things happen. I have this health scare, and it's like, oh my God, this is, you know, like, am I dying, right?
That's a lot.
This is happening. And so that's really kind of
I don't talk about my personal life either, but dude, I am so busy with real life stuff. Like, you have no idea. And then here I am, fully demonetized on YouTube. It just doesn't get better than that. Am I right? God truly gives his greatest battles to his greatest warriors. That's all I have to say. He has a plan. He knows what's up.
Why I haven't immediately responded. It had nothing to do really with Twitch at all. I was worried about something that was a lot more important. So anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching. I'll be back really soon. I haven't really decided. Maybe I'll just come back and stream on Kick. I can just wait out the suspension. Yeah. I don't really know. I'll probably get a few other, like, real life weekly and monthly quests done, and, you know, just try to relax a little bit, which has been great. I slept for like 10 hours yesterday, so I'm in kind of a good mood right now.
Nice.
And so yeah, anyway, that's pretty much what the plan is, and yeah, that's about all I've got. I'll be back, and yeah, see you next time.
Damn, yeah, bro, it's brutal that big tech is still censoring right-wing voices, and that is what's happening. We have Twitch owned by Amazon, literally censoring Asmongold, the #1 politics streamer on the platform, a right-wing conservative streamer. That ultimately, that is where his politics align with right now. That is basically what he's saying. Again, I'm demonetized on YouTube. Smug Alana just got a strike for showing a mosquito getting squished on YouTube. All right, there is an obvious... And you have Hasan endorsing terrorism, calling for the murder of the president of the United States, calling for the death threats for ICE agents on his stream, you know, openly talking about how he wants to destroy the white race, all right, abusing animals, interviewing terrorists, glazing them, absolutely zero repercussions for it. It's truly incredible if you think about it. It's almost like there's a massive left-wing bias, and because the left cannot win this debate in the marketplace of ideas, they want to kill the messenger. That's what they did to Charlie Kirk, and they all celebrated it, and I will never forget it, and you will be destroyed. All their morality, and their coping, and their making believe that they have some sort of ethical framework, these absolute dipshit, demonic fucks are gonna get annihilated. And it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but it'll happen, and I will be there to make a video talking about it. Definitely subscribe and support me on Patreon if you want to see a deep dive into the morality of killing children. Or lack thereof, okay? Listen, YouTube, I'm not making any definitive claims here. I'm just talking about nebulously the morality from a philosophical standpoint, of course, on Patreon. Definitely, it's linked in the description. You can go there. That'd be sick. And of course, I appreciate your support everywhere. This was streamed on Rumble and on Kick. All right, we're going to be doing that all the time. Hopefully, dual streaming Rumble and Kick all the time. Don't forget to go to Rumble Wallet. It is linked in the description. Rumble Wallet, support the boy if you can. That would be really awesome. And once again, you people are incredible. You do help me basically survive out here, despite the fact that I'm getting absolutely ass blasted by YouTube. And I appreciate you more than you possibly could know. Listen, I may just be a blue cartoon on the internet, on the YouTubes. But we will surpass Ben Shapiro and become top Jew. It's inevitable. My rise is inevitable. I am inevitable. And I will not back down from my stance of saying that rape is bad. Sorry, YouTube. I know you don't like to hear it. That's the uncomfortable truth.